Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco, and I welcome you to the season. They say it is the season. I was really desperately struggling for the past like 40 minutes or something to figure out a way to work in me saying "ho ho ho, Merry Thickmas" in a Santa voice, and I just felt like I can't pull that off. I'm very pleased with the wordplay of it, but I have no practical application for this. So, oh, camera's all wonky. What did I do? Figure it out. There we go. Fantastic. Stick with 2 C's. Stick with, like, as many C's as you can manage. I think it was just because I, threw my arms out wide and the camera's like, got it, go insane, and completely out of focus. Okay, cool. That's, alright. Whatever. At least it doesn't do that very often. It probably looks a little better now than it did a couple minutes ago.
Servants call me Dummy Thick.
Yeah, we have, a button for that. It's pretty close. I don't know. I just thought I couldn't pull it off. I was gonna make, a joke about, if I had an OnlyFans, and I was like, nah, that's just uncomfortable. My mom watches these. Also, the thought of me having an OnlyFans is upsetting to everybody, including me. Anyway, we're here not to just talk about my OnlyFans, which is going to exist soon, for sure. Instead, we're here to play Raincoat. Now, God, I can't even begin to explain what
need a map to get to Bone
is going on in Raincoat. It just keeps escalating very quickly. Let me try to summarize to the best of my ability. The last time we played, we did a bunch of side quests, so we didn't advance the plot that much. We just did a bunch of, just real nonsense. But before that, we had a case I will briefly encapsulate thusly, which is our secret detective agency base, which was a secret submarine, was exploded by a missile from the local authorities in the district known as Conai Ward, where this game takes place. We, as detectives for the World Detective Organization, have been trying to uncover secrets of this ward that closed itself off from the rest of the world because we suspected of crimes, more or less. And so they were unhappy with the fact we were poking around. They blew up our submarine base. We woke up in a sketchy dude's penthouse. He's always wearing a mask and saying weird stuff. One might describe his conversations with this sound clip.
He's talking way too long, and none of it sounds true at all.
And frankly, it's typically accurate. So we went about our detective business. We got kidnapped by some rebels who were trying to start a revolution. They tricked us into setting up bombs around Conai Ward and getting us, declared a terrorist, so the local law enforcement was after us for new reasons. It went really badly. Like all the other cases, we ultimately found ourselves in the Mystery Labyrinth, where we managed to prove that the whole thing was a needlessly elaborate bank heist, which didn't make any sense. We returned to the land of the living. The masked guy sort of pulled rank and protected us from the peacekeepers, the authorities. And then he gave us a new secret submarine base that is like a 1-to-1 replica of what we had before, including handwritten notes that are rendered in the background, which somehow that's happening. So we started this case, and we were trying to learn more about homunculi, because we believe that homunculi are the deep, dark, ultimate secret of Conai Ward. That scientific experimentation has been going on to create monstrous, unkillable human beings, or humanoid creatures is probably more accurate. The guy in charge, the masked guy, he pulled rank because we learned he was actually the CEO of Amaterasu, the shady corporation that closed off Conai Ward from the rest of the world. And he insists that homunculi don't exist, but he offered to take us to the secret laboratory where hopefully we'll meet Dexter and maybe Dee Dee. And yeah, it's like more or less where we left off. Last time, again, we did like a bunch of side quests, but like ultimately we like talked to that guy and he's like, yeah, like I'll take one person to my secret lab. Keep in mind that if people like notice you, they're like 100% gonna kill you. So like we had this like really morbid send off where Karumi Wendy, who's like basically our girlfriend now, thought that we were gonna die and we thought we were gonna die, and it's like really, really awkward. But yeah, now we're gonna go to a secret lab and maybe something cool will happen, or maybe not, I don't know. Seriously, you can't spell terror without yeah, Uchikoshi do be like that sometimes. I follow the Zero Escape subreddit, and for some reason lately I've been seeing a lot of posts of people finishing Zero Time Dilemma, and they all insist the game isn't as bad as everyone says, and I'm like, play it again. Alright, let's hop into the game. For some reason I was really concerned that wouldn't work, even though I tested that. I don't think I did anything weird, so continue should work. To date this stream, it is Friday, December 1st. As a reminder, because I goofed this the last time I was streaming, I am not streaming tomorrow, which is December the 2nd, because that happens to be the date of the Confidence Man concert that I think I mentioned several months ago when I first found out about it, and I just sort of blanked on the date because I was looking too far ahead and not contextualizing time correctly. I am looking forward to continuing Chants of Sonara, which we've been playing on Saturdays, but that will have to wait until next week. I am hoping to finish that game before the end of the month. Things are looking a little complicated, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, so we're standing next to this Lambo taxi. It fancy. It's one of those points of no return. That's why we saved here. Sonara is a 3 to 4 game stream. Yeah, I did too. But keep in mind how little progress I made last time. The last time we played Chants of Sonara was basically me having like an anxiety attack for like 3 hours. It was a really good time though. It's like one of the most fun experiences I've had streaming. It's up there with like the like little not the Little Nightmares, the Little Misfortune stream. That one infamous, of course. It's just called Yellow Car. No, I don't need to be sorry. I'm teasing myself because, like, that sounds optimistic based on the experience I had. That's all I'm saying. It feels to me like it is probably going to be like a solidly 5-stream game. That sounds about right. Yeah, continue ahead. Let's continue. I am really excited about Confidence Man. It's so funny.
Hi, I'm here. You're right on time.
God, you're so weird. What is this car? It's like Knight Rider and Star Trek had like a horrendously gaudy child. Yeah, it's so funny because like I basically never have plans in LA anymore because I know so few people here. Someone who had moved away during the pandemic moved back for complicated reasons, and I tried to make plans with him a few weeks ago, which fell through. But then, like, an hour ago, he was like, hey, I'm going to, like, Los Angeles Comic-Con tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow's, like, definitely not happening. I'm not missing Confidence Man. You can go have fun, though. What's with those seats? I don't know. That honestly seems like something you might see in a real-life modern sports car. The textures obviously look... Well, remember, like, a couple minutes ago when my camera freaked out and everything got, like, kind of, like, blurry? It's like that. Kind of looks like that. Hey, one thing I'd love to point out to you, because I want us all to be on the lookout for this, they've been patching this game pretty regularly, actually, since it came out. I haven't noticed a lot of those effects, to be honest with you, but I've occasionally read the patch notes. Sometime between the last time we played and now, I saw an update that they did a patch to, like... I think they implied significantly, but like reduce loading times. And let me tell you that first loading time did not fill me with confidence that we have actually succeeded at that goal. Also his hand. Yeah, I mean like one of those fingers definitely does not look correctly sized. But then I have like tiny little girl hands. So like, I don't know.
Oh, this car? Of course it's made by Amaterasu Corporation.
You said that like Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps.
Want to do a test drive?
No. I don't have a license.
What a coincidence. Neither do I.
That's good. Speaking of inspiring confidence...
Huh?
I don't know why. I was thinking about this earlier today, so I'll share this anecdote. When I was in college, at Emerson College, which I was talking about in needlessly great detail before we started recording today, I worked on a couple of like news shows to like work in the TV studios. I did like a stint as like an anchor on our like closed circuit news with like 4 rotations, and like there clearly wasn't that much interest because I was one of our like 8 anchors. And then we worked on something that it was called The News, and it was just like a parody of The News, which was like fantastic. That's where the sassy pharmacist thing comes from. If you've ever seen that through the references on our old Renegade Constabulary videos, Tech and I. And for some reason, this one joke from that always sticks with me. It's so stupid. The 2 like main anchors from that show doing some weird piece, and like one of them makes like a banter aside of like, you know, like I'm the type of person who just like can't make themselves like sit on a toilet seat in a public restroom. And then the other one says, that's so funny. I'm exactly the opposite. Which is just just like, it's one of those things that like the more you think about it, like the weirder and more uncomfortable, but also funnier it is. It's just like, you hear it and your like brain won't process it at first. And then when you think about it, you're like, okay.
Come on, get in. I'll take you to the secret lab now.
I'm
Hooray.
having a lot of doubts right now.
I like that Shinigami's just like on our lap for convenience of model space or whatever. Oh, Sarah, you've reminded me of something very important. Once we reach some sort of pause, I have to do something. I forgot something in our startup. Ooh, like a proper cutscene. Look at this. It's like 480p, but don't worry about that. Is it because I told you you'd die today?
I don't blame you. You're heading into the heart of enemy territory right now.
It's so funny. Like, certain angles the game looks like totally fine, and certain angles the game is just like it's like 360p. It's definitely the no license thing. It's certainly not helping. It's definitely raising the ambient anxiety level for sure. Does everyone just... Is this like a normal commute for the secret lab?
This is the security area. It uses biometric authentication, so it's difficult to slip past.
See, the fact that he's
course,
saying this
everything will be
assures
fine
there's
because
going
I'm
to be a
here.
murder. I like that the scanner does like a little dance, like it does a little song and dance. It could just scan him and then fold back to where it started, but it's like da 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 da.
From here on, we'll be inside Amaterasu headquarters. Are you ready?
You can take it off. Yeah, that proves once and for all that when he was talking for way too long, it wasn't true at all. Because he said it was like fused to his face or some garbage. And now it's a driving game. They're really doing their best to sell this as super ominous. I'm turning on my side fan. I didn't think I'd have to. We're in that like really nice weather. The like 3 weeks of the year where I don't have to have the air conditioner on most of the day in California. It kind of sucks here, mostly just because my apartment is terrible. It's like a greenhouse with a noise box instead of an air conditioner.
We managed to get inside. Welcome to Amaterasu Corporation.
But we're like just riding that line where like I need a little bit of airflow or else I'm gonna start sweating. I don't want to sweat on stream. It's just I got enough going on against me. Oh, by the way, okay, so it's me, it's Big Vasco again. I'm so sorry. I meant to do this. I've been so distracted. I thought I was gonna have a weird day, and I did. Do you know what today is? In addition to all the other things, and including... I don't know, I'm stalling for time, so I've typed this properly. Being the first day of December, it's a new holiday season. I know I'm hiding this because of my jar. But I've updated the holiday emote. It's no longer Finger Guns Halloween. Now it is Vasco D Random Present. There you go. Have fun with that. And thus the third holiday emote is revealed. Only the spring one remains. Can anyone guess what it is? I doubt it. It's a weird one. Pretty excited about that one, though. I think people are gonna like it. Alright, back to the game. Okay, welcome to Amaterasu Corporation.
You are
Hooray!
bold. If you look like that, people will only suspect you.
Yeah, clipboard and whatever. Clipboard feel important.
What a cyber-futuristic lobby! It's nothing like Fuzzhead's agency.
But there's something
Doesn't seem like
unsettling
that
about it.
futuristic.
It feels so sterile.
That's because of all the x-rays they
Totally
shot
get
us
you.
with when we came in.
Really use some blood and guts, and a headless corpse or two wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, that's probably true.
No, you totally don't get me.
Again, I
Didn't
do
the
appreciate...
receptionist seem really suspicious of me?
With a face like that, it can't be helped.
My face?
How about we pretend you're my secretary?
I hope you mean your
Yes,
face.
You're here as my able-bodied secretary. Now
I
stand
don't
up
like the way he
straight.
said able-bodied.
You are supposed to be here.
I don't know if I can change so suddenly.
I don't think I can stand up straight. Just like real life. Sarah guesses maybe it's Vasco Rage swinging an umbrella. I briefly thought about Vasco Rage with a candy cane being the Christmas one, but I just really like changing the die on Vasco Random into the gift box. It just feels like it works really well. The other secretary's handicapped in some way? No, I assume they're all able-bodied, or it'd be suspicious that we can stand up. I don't know why it had us do that, like, walking cutscene where we, like, didn't have control, but they also ran out of dialogue, like, way before we reached our endpoint. It feels like we didn't time that correctly.
The secret lab is deep underground.
They're all pretty
Regular
human
employees
cubes.
are not given
That's-
access to it.
That's definitely true, Sarah. That is why we needed a new able-bodied secretary, because all the other ones got turned into cubes. Secret lab is deep underground. Regular employees are not given access. Okay, you got it. Feels like a really generic elevator for this purpose, but okay.
That should do it.
This is making me nervous.
Everything is making you nervous, and for good reason. You'll probably die here. I didn't want to talk over the cutscene because it felt important. I just wanted to remark again that I do appreciate that it feels like a conscious effort went into gradually making Yuma stand up for himself a little more, while still not compromising his overall sort of wet blanket personality.
Who knew you could get inside so easily? Everything is almost a bit too easy here.
Is it too easy, or is like the person with the highest level of access in the company guiding us there? I'm not saying nothing can go wrong, but like I would expect this to go easy, assuming that he's not lying to us and just trying to like ambush us or something weird.
My puffiness is all pins and needles.
Be even better if suddenly he was like, I have a great feeling about this. You mean just out of spite, Sarah?
I can't imagine he's plotting anything.
That seems like a weird way to say
I
that.
may as well take back whatever information I can get.
But what good will it do you if you die?
Reasonable
Then
question.
again, I could just take over your corpse and walk all the way back to the agency in your place.
Honestly, if that's true, that's like kind of interesting information to have. It does tell us something about the nature of this agreement. Because like originally Shinigami was like, oh, like you couldn't even see me at first because like I had to attune to your mind or body or something. So like when we die, she doesn't just like warp back to the land of the dead or something. Like she could just still hang out even though like we're not here to anchor her or something.
Well, if that happens, I'm counting on you.
That's way too casual of a response to that supposition. She's like, well, if you die today, I'll puppet your corpse in a disrespectful manner. And you're like, all right. We're all counting on you.
By the way, if there's something you want to ask, go ahead now. There won't be time to talk once we arrive at the lab.
Who put the bop in the bop shabop?
Oh, then... what should I ask about?
These happen so infrequently, they feel bizarre. Let's ask about Makoto.
Mr. Makoto? You're really the CEO of Amaterasu Corporation, right?
You really the Quickie Mart guru? Really? Really?
Please, it's just Makoto. You really still doubt me?
I don't know, man. You wear a mask all the time. This place seems terrible.
You saw us move past security.
It's been a ruse the whole time. It'd be really funny if it was just like a swipe or no swiping thing where it's like, no, I was just joshing. But if you ask directly, I'm not allowed to lie about it. That's a crime.
Yeah, but...
Do you have a problem with the way I look? Would you prefer I was an old man with a comb over?
Yeah? I think so.
I suppose I could make a mask like that.
Please, don't. Just stay the way you are.
You sure? I have other masks, so let me know if you have any requests.
Dude is like 100% hexadecimal from Reboot.
By the way, this mask is modeled after a god worshipped by the Bora Bora tribe, who live near the equator.
Pretty sure I saw that season of Survivor.
When did you first become CEO here?
I think it was about 3 years ago.
When the rain started? It's been raining for 3 years after all.
I haven't always lived in Kanai Ward. I just happened to come here for work at Amaterasu Corporation.
That's inherently pretty suspicious. You didn't always live here, but around the time that you lived here, the shift happened to cause the constant rain and to lock the city down?
Just one small accomplishment, and then, before I knew it, I was chosen to be CEO.
Is that
Did you make the
true?
cube machine?
It sounds like you have your head in the clouds.
Maybe the accomplishment was making the, like, beautiful cubinator.
Of course it's true.
Then what was the small accomplishment you mentioned? It must have been significant enough for you to be chosen.
I got a participation ribbon for a holiday bake-off.
I can't discuss the details of my work. Even if I told you, it's too specialized for you to understand.
Only fans.
Honestly, I'm surprised you aren't from Kanai Ward. I thought you were born and raised here.
Well, if you stay in one spot for 3 years, you grow attached to it.
I'm not entirely sure that's true.
They say even couples who have fallen in love usually break up within the first 3 years.
It's weird.
What should I ask about?
I like that the game's like, I also ran out of any convincing way to continue this conversation. Secret lab.
What sort of place is the secret lab?
I imagine it's like a laboratory? Perhaps a secret one?
It's literally a lab that's secret.
Thanks, Windows. Didn't ask you. Thank you, though.
That doesn't answer my question.
I mean, strictly speaking, it does. I feel like if you wanted a better answer, you should have given a better question.
With any organization, state-of-the-art research is kept top secret, and only the senior executives are given access.
The comb-over guys?
All companies keep their research secret to protect their profits.
That's true, but...
I mean, Amaterasu basically owns this town and refuses to venture outside of it. Like, I understand the need for keeping something secret, especially because they're basically a shadowy organization. But the implication that, like, they just have to protect secrets like any old corporation, that seems silly to me, because, like, who is the competition here? You mostly just need to keep the plebs from finding out that you're, I don't know, making acid rain or whatever the heck you're doing.
We have especially advanced research machinery, even by Amaterasu standards.
That doesn't make sense. How can you have advanced research machinery by your own standards when you are you? They have to be your standards. They're your research machines.
This is where our world-leading products are created.
So what are you developing here?
Photos.
I can't tell you that, but feel free to look with your own eyes and imagine for yourself.
My special eyes?
Perhaps I'll give you a hint. Our head of research is Dr. Weska, a specialist in weapons development.
Well, yeah, that does sound like it's cubing people, Sarah. It does sound like it's making cubes out of people.
Development?
Nani?
The crudest, yet most delicate research in the entire world. It's a lot to worry about.
What do you mean?
Well, this is just a rumor, but someone in Amaterasu Corporation is working behind the scenes with Dr. Weska.
Is it Dr. Fanta?
I don't know what they're plotting, but if this rumor is true, they must be dealt with eventually.
That's definitely got to be the subject of the impending investigation with Vivia Twilight.
Whether as CEO of Amaterasu, or as someone who loves this city.
I'm glad someone responded to that joke with my brand. Also, seriously, just wait. Crude? Delicate? It's OnlyFans. They've found a way to weaponize OnlyFans by having it be really invasive to social media. It's literally just OnlyFans.
Which is why you brought me here as part of your inspection.
Very good. You're a sharp one.
So he purposely brought you here so no one would suspect his real motive? He's obviously using you as a scapegoat in case something happens. This guy's dangerous.
Everything's dangerous.
I don't think he's revealed his true motive yet. And I won't end up as some sacrificial lamb. What should I
Sacrificial
ask
goat.
about?
That totally feels really awkward. I won't be used as some kind of pawn. What should I ask about? Did I leave the iron on? Ask about the peacekeepers.
Are there any peacekeepers at the secret lab?
Are they making cubes right now?
Of course. They're everywhere. However, due to confidentiality issues, we have regulations in place minimizing the number of staff there.
Couldn't you order them to withdraw? Is that possible?
It's not so easy. To deal with the peacekeepers, you must deal with their leader.
Yomi, right? But considering your positions, don't you outrank him?
Maybe to the outside world, but in truth, we're not so different.
This is a really unsatisfying answer. I really want that to be directly addressed at some point.
What's your relationship with him?
You could say we both fought for the
Complicated.
top spot in Amaterasu.
Facebook complicated.
That's the easiest way to put it.
Fought for the top?
Neither of you is a bottom? What's going on today?
At the time, Yomi was so elite, it was assumed he'd be the next CEO. No one expected I
So
would overtake
elite?
him and gain that title for myself.
But in the end, you were chosen.
So leet speak, Rafflecopter.
I never purposely aimed for the top, but there was something I had to do as the CEO.
The OnlyFans, I think.
What was it?
It's a long story, so I'll save it for another day. In
A
any
rainy
case,
day?
I was
Like all of them?
officially appointed as CEO. So
Has it been
that's the
raining for
post
3
I
years?
hold now. Yomi believes I cheated to get my way here. Ever since then, he's hated my guts and has grown more heavy-handed over time. The previous CEO died in an accident, but my guess is that actually...
You think Yomi is responsible?
That's just a guess, mind you.
So, who is it that we think appointed him as CEO? Like a board of investors or something? And they're really okay with some guy who did one task, but is a complete weirdo who wears a mask all the time out in public? That's the guy they want running the company? Did they even Google this guy? The reason I paused before advancing the text there, Sarah, is I was wondering if I should make a joke about infidelity, because it does sound like there's some romantic tension between Makoto and Yuri. Or Yomi? For some reason, I can only think of his last name, because it's Hellsmile, which is very, very memorable.
I think he could do something like that. Regardless, his resentment seems justified.
I don't know what he's thinking. But the fact remains that he's spreading fear throughout the whole city. For the sake of Kanai Ward's future, I cannot allow him to run free.
He says it's for Kanai Ward's future, but it's probably just for himself. This is just a fight for power. It'd be a nice show if more corpses pile up.
The fight is on.
WDO getting involved now certainly complicates things.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we technically represent the WDO in an official capacity, but that probably makes things even more complicated. Hey, Katane, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Please enjoy the holiday vibe and the new holiday emote that went live today. Strictly speaking.
It's complicated enough already. You're the only one who hasn't noticed yet, Master.
I thought I knew, but I get the feeling the worst is yet to come.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet in this world.
Although, I have no idea what form worst will take.
I mean, probably Shinigami? Although, I guess if there aren't, like, any women involved in this case, she might be on decent behavior. She's, like, weirdly misandrist for, ghost-taking lady form, or whatever. Now you were watching Nightmare Before Christmas. That reminds me, so I've been watching the new season of Fargo, which has been, I'm gonna say mostly really good, because the last episode had, like, a weird aside in it that I'm not sure how to feel about it. That is objectively hilarious in a way I don't think it's meant to be. But, like, for some reason, the season has thus far contained, like, several episodes to Nightmare Before Christmas. And I happened to, like, find something today online where, like, the guy who makes Fargo, the TV series, was like, yeah, like, my family just really likes Nightmare Before Christmas. And I asked Tim Burton if I could make several references to it so that it would be referenced in every episode of the season. And he gave me his blessing. And I'm like, you know what? If I was making a TV show, I'd 100% do that. I respect that. It's weird, but I respect it completely. Although he did also have some analogy where he's like, one of the main characters is kind of similar to Jack Skellington in a certain kind of way. And I'm like, sure, if you stand on your head. But, like, I respect that we just wanted to do a whole bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, I guess. It's a long elevator ride.
There's that face again. Did you forget? Right now, you're my able secretary. Don't look so worried.
It's weird that he keeps emphasizing the able thing. I know we've been over this, but it does start to feel weirder the more he, like, emphasizes that. But that elevator ride was like the Zero Escape equivalent of, like, walking and talking down a hallway.
Or should I lend you an extra mask? It'll be perfect for hiding your face.
Yeah, nothing weird about that. That'll definitely not draw any attention.
No, I'm fine.
Although, frankly, like, I don't know why we would make none effort to disguise ourselves. Because, like, we know that a big part of the risk is, like, if the Peacekeepers notice we're here, apparently they have no qualms about just, like, murdering us on sight, which makes a certain amount of sense. Which is why it is a sketchy prospect to come here at all. But, like, knowing that, like, some amount of effort to disguise ourselves seems practical, right?
Then let's go.
You're gonna get some pop-ins.
That's odd. The gate was left open. Under normal security circumstances, there wouldn't be so many peacekeepers.
Does the whole thing get shuttered? Is it not some kind of scanner in its own right? It looks like it.
Did they find out about me?
If so, you'd already be captured. They wouldn't even let you off the elevator.
Call on Vasco. They're right there. You're right there also. They have discovered you. I really, like, listen. I really want to suspend my disbelief for this game. At times it makes it really difficult. This weird, like, not clearly defined antagonism between Makoto and, like, the Peacekeepers who are all part of Amaterasu as a corporation. Very confusing and off-putting to me. What is the Poppins line from? The original line in Arrested Development is you're going to get some hop-ons. Because in the first season of Arrested Development, one of the only things that the wealthy family has after, like, the government freezes all their assets is, like, a stair car for their private jet that has the family's, like, company brand name on it. And there's, like, a few times where, like, someone's like, oh, I'm gonna take the stair car to drive somewhere because I have, like, no other means of getting around because, like, all our assets are locked up and whatever. And, like, anytime that happens, like, early on, someone's like, you're gonna get some hop-ons. And what it means is that, like, people will, like, jump on the stairs on the back of the car and just, like, hitch a ride. It comes up, like, a few times in the series as a relevant thing.
For now, let's ask them what's up.
This seems like a worse idea than all the other ones so far.
Hey, wait!
Cool. I'm gonna save, I guess, because that took a minute. Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. I feel like there was something during the last stream that I was considering trying to get a sound clip for, and I don't remember what it is now. I will say that I did enjoy the line read from Yuma of "My face" earlier today. Hey guys, it's me. It's Yuma Cocohead. I'm that guy.
Hi there. What happened?
Chief Executive, I regret to inform you that
Has there already been a
two
murder?
peacekeepers on guard duty at the gate were knocked out by someone.
So then someone forced the gate open and then we didn't close it? Seems like it might still make sense to close it so that that person doesn't have an easy way to get out. Unless we've already proven that they've left.
Is it an intruder?
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Yes, that appears to be the case.
Nah, it was a really zealous Uber Eats driver.
So we have a guest. Who would have thought there'd be an intruder right now?
Would you say it's the 7th
An
guest?
intruder?
The timing is too perfect. It's like they were waiting for you, Master.
Huh?
Did your ghost say
Hey,
something?
What's going on here?
Oh, it's everyone's
Am I
favorite guy.
seeing Things.
Yes,
The tacky
you're
piece of
dreaming right
trash
now.
That loves looking down on citizens from on high is actually strutting around on the ground. And with a fucking detective who moonlights as a terrorist to boot. That's even more impossible than a chance meeting between an umbrella and a sewing machine on an operating table!
Well, there's a line of dialogue,
This is
I
bad.
suppose.
Why is he, of all people, here?
Because, like, a thing went bad with the peacekeepers or whatever? What, does someone need that clarified? It's less likely than the meeting between an umbrella and a sewing machine on an operating table. What? How does that... I was watching, yeah, that might be a good screenshot. I was watching a lot of Christmas movies over Thanksgiving, as you might have ascertained by knowing anything about me. There's a really wild one from this year where, like, this like handsome guy plays like the relatively young son of Santa on his like first run to do Santa stuff. And at a certain point in the movie, let me see if I can remember this. He says this absolutely like unhinged line of dialogue, and just like as a throwaway, like someone uses some like regular expression. I don't remember what it is. And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Up in the North Pole, we have a saying that goes like sleigh bells and whistles and mistletoe thistles." And then just like no elaboration. He doesn't explain what that means. He just sort of like nods and like has a big dumb grin on his face, like, "Yeah, you understand?" It's like that.
This is the worst timing. Master, you are the world champion of getting into trouble.
I don't know. I feel like we deliberately do things to put ourselves in dangerous situations, which like mitigates those results somewhat.
Hi, Yomi. You came at the right time. We have an emergency. An intruder has gotten past the gate.
It's actually pretty remarkable we haven't been murdered already.
You don't need to tell me what I already know, you masked freak.
It sounds like you already know about the intruder. So, you received an alert and decided to pay a visit? Seeing you personally take care of things is a rare sight.
Sick burn.
Of course I'm here. This is an important base for us.
It's true. This guy Yomi definitely has like 0% chill.
Well, do you have any ideas regarding this intruder?
Kill us and then kill him, I'm guessing?
I'm not required by duty or cosmic law to tell you a damn thing. Go back to the clouds and read poetry in the bath.
I wish this weren't true, but I feel like this is very much the type of relationship we have with our closest department within my company. We're just like, hey, like, you have stuff that you should do to make the company run. And then they say this to us.
I'll help.
What?
As CEO, I offer my full support to the Peacekeepers' investigation.
What, like some sort of truce?
Is now the time to fight among ourselves?
Fine. I'll accept your peace offer.
Seeing as you're head of the Peacekeepers, I feel like you're almost obliged.
You think I'd really say that? I don't need your help!
You don't need it, but I mean, I'm not sure that's
You
relevant.
don't seem to understand the situation you're in. You really are a special kind of stupid.
I am. Thank you for noticing. Hey, you know what's fun? I didn't notice this before, but Yomi Hellsmile's hat, he's got 3 star chips from Duelist Kingdom. So that means he must already have won at least one duel. I don't like his odds for getting to the finals, though, for various plot-related reasons.
I have power, numbers, and charisma that far surpass yours in every way.
Oh shoot, he's got Riz in addition to that human cubifier?
You are in no position to order around the great Yomi.
I'll admit, I have no power, numbers, or charisma.
This is my daily affirmation. How did the game know?
But what about here?
I have a listening device.
You talk a lot of trash, empty-headed balloon boy.
How about I catch this intruder before you do?
Huh?
You catch the intruder? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with Fink, the slaughter artist.
That's like 100% the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Just continuing the previous theme. That has to be the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh card, for real.
Fink the slaughter artist. The famous hitman?
Who's this new character now?
He said hitman.
What? Were you acting all tough for no reason? You sure are a brainless executive. We've been looking into this for days already.
You've been looking into this for days. He like just got here. Does that mean that you've been doing a really bad job and you're just openly admitting that? Death threat, unvoiced. Dr. Huesca must pay for his sins with his life. My blade shall be his atonement.
It's
Heat blade. Burn away to nothing.
Dr. Weska is...
Isn't that the head of the lab he mentioned? So a hitman's out to get him?
This thing was sent to the Peacekeepers and the lab itself a few days ago.
Interesting to send it directly to both places.
The slaughter artist signed the envelope in big letters. He craves attention like a schoolgirl with a new haircut.
I like to think that because he emphasized in big letters, it's in like big, like childlike crayon print letters. It's like he may be dealing with like a 7-year-old boy.
It doesn't matter who he is. The moment he steps into this lab, he'll be caught in my trap. Sorry, but we'll be the ones to handle this hitman.
Keep talking, you clown. Your words are just as empty as your head.
These two need to get a room for real.
We, the Peacekeepers, are gonna catch the hitman. We're the keepers of order, and we'll show him who's boss.
I think you'll find that you're the keepers of peace, and that was a softball that you missed, that you tossed to yourself.
You best be careful not to stand in my way. It'd ruin my shoes to stomp on a pile of shit.
I do enjoy this relationship, but really, we all know that they're hooking up. They already have, and they will again. Really interesting that he didn't kill us there for some reason.
Catch the hitman first?
Huh?
That's our job. You know that, right?
It's not my job to catch him.
Yeah.
It's yours, detective.
It's extremely clear.
I knew it.
There. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not. I'm looking at your shoes.
As a result, you weren't taken by the Peacekeepers, and we also gained information about the intruder. We've killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Maybe, but...
On top of that, you can peruse the lab freely now. So it's more like a 3-base hit sending all the runners home.
Was that his goal during the short exchange with Yomi? If so, he's not just any regular person. I understand why you think he's creepy.
Okay, again, like, I understand what they want me to think, how they want me to interpret this whole situation, but I can't help but feel like it's not earned because it only works out of, like, tremendous contrivance. Like, those people actively want us dead. They wanted to arrest us yesterday. Now they're in a way better position to just, like, kill us or capture us or whatever they want to do, and they just didn't. I don't feel as though Makoto did anything that would genuinely justify that course of action. It's only by the grace of the writer that that happened, because it needed to for the game to continue, but we should be dead right now.
It's probably best to stay on his good side. Although, I don't think befriending him is smart either. In other words, as I keep on saying, you should just run away!
Ding!
It's too late for that.
It's too late!
Now, let's go inside the lab like we originally planned.
As planned, huh?
I hope there's a Squirtle somewhere in this lab.
So this is the secret lab. Let's keep up with Makoto.
Oh, okay. Don't know why he's running. Question. If I don't keep up with him, do I die? Second question. Can I find... it's one of these, huh? Yeah, it's probably not like a whole lot of opportunities to get DP, but I'll give it a quick check before I try to catch up with him, since he appears to have stopped and not caused me to die. It's not like one of those classic Assassin's Creed missions that nobody liked, that I assume they still do, but I think Black Flag is the last time I played an Assassin's Creed game, so who knows? I think that means that there have been roughly...
more suspicious, like corpses stored in a vat of chemicals and stuff.
I mean, we really haven't seen... I haven't gotten a close look at anything. There could be corpse vats. Saying something and she interrupted me. I don't know what it was now. Something about... something. Oh, I was going to say, I think that means that there have been roughly, like, 19 additional Assassin's Creed games that I haven't played.
See? It's not some suspicious lab. There aren't any immortal monsters in sight.
Well, yeah, but you would
I
hide them
can't
on a
tell
different
yet.
level or something. I'm gonna go in here. Knock, knock.
Yuma, I'm sure you want to look around the lab, but let's prioritize this issue with Dr. Weska.
Right.
I mean,
if he's been
we
targeted by the
could.
hitman, it'd be better to find him first and take him into our custody.
Well then, let's hurry. Dr. Weska should be in the critical lab up ahead.
If my actions haven't made it clear, I have a different sense of triage and should find all the DP first. I really don't think I'm going to level up successfully more than maybe like one more time in the game. So it's probably not all that important. What's... Hey, buddy! That's an intense haircut you got going on there. It's like most of your head... You're like a bowling ball of hair with a cloth mask on or whatever.
Oh,
What? Hey.
Was that a robot? I think I've seen it somewhere else.
We have, and I don't remember where, but look at the character model on this chap.
Isn't that the one they advertise a lot on posters around town and those big digital billboards?
I think that is true, but I do feel like we may have seen it somewhere else as well.
Oh, it's a toy robot for children. It's being developed here.
You make them here? Toy robots, I mean.
It may be a toy, but it's quite advanced. State-of-the-art technology shouldn't be just for adults. In fact, I even have one. It's quite nice. The camera affixed to its head can connect to a device's display, and it can also be remote controlled.
That's just give me the solution key already.
It even features an interactive mic and can carry a load of up to 100 kilograms.
Gross chuckle.
It's advertised to withstand play with your rowdiest kids and as being tough enough for an elephant to stand on.
I'm not sure that's quite a selling point.
Shall we keep going?
Oh, right.
So that really unique character model, that's not Dr. Weska? That's just some guy who doesn't have proportions like anyone else in this world? He's just like that dude in Nirvana initiative with the SpongeBob Squarehead?
Here it is. Let's go inside.
Yes.
That man's head is just Minecraft.
This is the front chamber of the critical lab. You
Komeiji,
can
right?
consider it an entrance.
Front chamber of the critical lab. It somehow strikes me as a very Japanese way of describing that.
Dr. Weska's critical lab is sealed with especially tough security. Anyone who tries to enter carelessly would be in grave danger, including myself.
So we should advance recklessly, heedlessly.
So, in order to meet the doctor, we must first contact him on the intercom.
The doctor is here?
Who dares disturb the thoughts within my sacred brain cells?
Hoo boy! Hoo boy! Look at this guy. Look at our new character. He is clearly a villain and also a weirdo. So, yeah, he's pretty much exactly what I expected.
Dr. Weska, it's me, the CEO of Amaterasu Corporation.
Who the hell are you? I refuse to speak with any disrespectful hoodlums.
I know he's all like, I've basically given you every reason to think that I'm the CEO of the company. I'm like, yeah, except for the fact that you don't seem to have authority over anyone, and as CEO, like, you should.
Either take off your mask or present someone whose mouth I can view.
Is he like hard of hearing or something?
You heard him. Yuma, can you take my place?
Huh? Me? Why doesn't he just take off his mask? This doctor guy seems like the stubborn type. I doubt I'll be good at dealing with him.
The only humans you're good at dealing with are young girls. Right, Master?
The dig doesn't even make any sense. We're demonstrably bad at interacting with women. Just like me, IRL. Maybe he's just like looking at mouths. I definitely wouldn't put it past a Japanese game to just have a creepy scientist whose like weird kink is like staring at mouths uncomfortably. It's honestly like way less weird than a bunch of stuff I've seen. Doesn't like My Hero Academia have a guy who like eats soup out of the barrel of a gun because he's so weird? Like Japan's a weird place.
My name is Yuma Cocohead. I've come here today after being advised by Mr. Makoto.
Or is that something else? It's been a while since I got caught up on that. Am I thinking of like Assassination Classroom? I've definitely seen this in something. There's something where like there's like a hitman who like just likes licking his gun. It's just weird. It's just weird in Japanese.
Speak what you must in under 10 words.
Ooh, plan carefully.
Oh, sure. You're being targeted by a hitman. You need to get somewhere safe.
You've exceeded your word limit. Game over. Don't come back.
Hold on!
See how difficult he is? He's a great researcher, but I can't say the same for his personality. People say he's been in this lab for months now without seeing anyone.
For months?
It's like the Heavenly Rock cave legend.
The what?
However, there's only one way to get him out, and it's not some passionate dance. It's this.
It's gotta be a Scooby snack, right? I wish this method didn't actually have to be employed on some people.
You're a persistent bugger. What's the meaning of this? Do you wish to become a test subject for a new weapon?
As I mentioned, a hitman is...
I know that already. I received a threatening note a few days ago.
Huh? So you received one too?
I mean, we knew one was sent to the lab. Did you not think that he got it? It was for him, basically.
I received a report from my subordinate. I didn't see anything of the sort myself.
Hey, incidentally, is your subordinate able-bodied? Asking for a weird friend.
Why didn't you run away then? You'd be better protected somewhere safe.
I'm not, like, entirely convinced that there's a lot of places safer than the secret lab of the biggest corporation in the world, or whatever.
What a foolish question. What place is possibly safer than here? The security system was instilled with my genius. Whether it's a hitman or the CEO, anyone who dares enter without my permission will be turned into a test subject. And now that you've been enlightened, quit wasting my precious time.
It appears he won't budge. Such a shame. I wanted to ask him a few things too.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. He didn't even talk to me. He appears to despise me. Maybe it's because I keep trying to investigate his research.
That's probably not helping. Let me tell you, people do not like being micromanaged. It's me, people. Dude says, I don't think these people understand what CEO is. I agree, but I think that also extends to Makoto himself. I'm, like, honestly not even sure he's, like, literally CEO. Because, like, I'm just confused by the whole notion that he's like, yeah, I was, like, selected and put in charge as CEO. Except that I lack all authority and everyone, like, hates me to the extent that they, like, won't do what I say. Now, a regular CEO, I feel like most people at the company are going to hate them for sure. Don't get me wrong. But, like, there's also, like, a begrudging, like, adherence to their decisions because they are CEO.
So having you introduce me wouldn't have made a difference in the first place.
Probably not. But I thought you'd like the chance to speak with the doctor.
Wrong.
He is the head of Amaterasu Corp's research facilities. If there was any sort of questionable research, he would know.
Questionable research? He's referring to the homunculi.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about OnlyFans.
Isn't there some way we can reach the doctor?
I doubt he'd answer the intercom again, and it's impossible to get past his security.
I mean, if you find the TARDIS and knock on the door, that might get his attention. Oh, right, the weapons guy.
You can attempt to force your way in, but you'd be risking your life.
The security is that tough?
He's a weapons scientist. He said he designed the security himself and he hates people. What do you think is going to happen if you try to break in there? The same thing that happens to frogs who get hit by lightning.
You could say it's impregnable. You could even call it murderous. Intruders will be immediately killed.
You could say it's impregnable. You could even say it's sterile.
Killed?
It's not so much a security system as a boom kill device.
Stop trying to make boom kill happen. I don't think that's been funny once. It was like almost charming the first time because it was a little off-putting. I just don't get it.
It's a security system so perfect that even the devil would avoid it. Even though this is the heart of Amaterasu Corporation, I still think it's a bit excessive. Oh, if you want, I could explain what the security is like around here.
My god, like a murder is imminent.
Yes, please. Tell me about the security system.
First off, we're in what's known as the front chamber. It's like an entrance to the critical lab.
Now, why is it that the floor kind of looks like it has a star pattern on it, but like one of the points just like abruptly cuts off at the end? I guess two of them, now that the camera's panned over a little bit. I could wait and see if we get a Black Sad break, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe? Is it gonna stop? I'm so easily baited by this. I mean, it's gotta stop at some point, right? There's no way that they would just set the camera to, like, rotate indefinitely. That would be stupid. Still going, though. I really didn't think I was gonna do this, but then I said it out loud, and I was like, but maybe. It would be really funny if it just went, like, 360 degrees. Hey, you can see the reflection of a door on the left wall that wasn't there before. Could almost mistake that for attention to detail. Anyway, the camera finally stopped.
You see that automatic door there? It's not actually locked. You can come and go freely through it. Once you get past that door, you will need to proceed through 3 chambers before arriving at the doctor's lab.
Does one of them involve assembling a 3-piece puzzle that vaguely resembles a monkey?
The 3 chambers are, in order, the airlock, the toxic gas chamber, and the panel chamber.
What was that second one you said?
Toxic gas chamber. Sounds dangerous already.
Yeah, it could take a classic boom kill device. You know the kind.
It is. Anyway, let's go in order. After the front chamber is the airlock. The airlock isn't particularly dangerous. As the name suggests, it's a room that seals out air. It features a large decontamination device set up on a wall.
Depending on how you have it set up, it could have a vacuum to kill you, but I don't think that's extremely likely, unless it's deliberately made as a countermeasure.
This prevents gas from the toxic gas chamber from leaking out.
Yeah.
If an intruder broke in or there was an accident originating from the toxic gas chamber, everything beyond it would remain safe thanks to the airlock.
So it's a room to stop the toxic gas.
These are all basically solution keys. Can we just get to
Once
it?
you get past the airlock, you arrive at the toxic gas chamber in question.
The phrasing of that sentence suggests that there's like multiple toxic gas chambers, but he only really wanted to talk about this one.
It was supposed to use sleeping gas in the original design, but Dr. Weska decided to upgrade it.
This definitely looks like a room out of the movie Cube. And if you haven't seen the movie Cube, you should. No idea where you can watch that now. I don't even know who makes that, so I don't know what streaming service it's on. I want to say it's like Sony, but I think I made that up. This is the only important one. I don't know, the panel room might be like panels of missiles or something.
If anyone enters while the security system is active, the whole room immediately fills with fatal toxic gas.
I appreciate the absolutely unnecessary amount of representation that door is locked. I mean, it's funny enough that it has a big red bar over the top that says lock on it, but the fact that there's like a scrolling, like holographic projection of the word lock, like, I don't think it actually matters whether or not that the people in this room know that it's locked. By the time that this is happening, they're probably gonna die before they have much chance to even try the door. And, like, it's not exactly as if I expect this room to be OSHA compliant or whatever, so, like, letting them know that this is not an emergency exit isn't helpful when the plan is for it to kill you in the first place.
The gas is comprised of bacterial aerosols, so regular gas masks are ineffective against it.
Cube was a Sci-Fi Channel original? I don't think that's true. Because, like, the first time I saw it was, like, on DVD. I'd never heard of it on Sci-Fi Channel. I think around that time I still would have been aware of it. These days I don't know much that's going on Sci-Fi. Other than whatever they advertised during the Twilight Zone marathon around New Year's. So I guess I have that to look forward to. Last year they made the show The Ark, which rules, and my friend writes for it. Cube 2 and Hypercube, are you saying those also aired on Sci-Fi Channel? Hypercube in particular, I'm skeptical that would have been on Sci-Fi Channel. Isn't there also... Oh no, 2 is Hypercube, 3 is something weird, and then there's like Cube 0, which is like actually isn't good. I feel like I liked the first 2 a lot, and the third one was okay, and then 0 was just like not good at all. It had like kind of an interesting premise that didn't go anywhere. I might be misremembering. Maybe there's only 3, but I think there is one that is called Cube 0, and that's like the really bad one. Really bad is overstating it. By comparison to Cube and Hypercube, which are both really good, it is not close.
Even if you hold your breath, it penetrates the skin. There are no effective treatments for it in existence.
Cool, very cool.
Isn't it dangerous to weaponize such a deadly gas?
Oh, there's no need to worry about that. This gas is one of the doctor's failures.
What?
It's only effective in an airtight room. It is easily dispersed outdoors.
I mean, isn't that kind of true of a lot of potentially deadly gases? That like a certain concentration is needed. So like if you just sprayed it out in the wild as a gas, it's not extremely likely to kill you. Like I feel like it takes a very particular type of gas for that to not be true.
I see.
There we go.
By the way, it takes time for the toxins to spread throughout your body, so it will not be a quick death.
Oh, that's fun and reassuring. Is that what we call a fun fact?
However, You will absolutely die within 30 minutes. No one can escape that fate.
Unless you open a door, right? You kind of just said?
Time lag is another reason why it's considered a failure. But, as a security system, it's unmatched in offensive and defensive capabilities.
What a very Japanese sentence. It's just like the flavor text of the original Dark Magician in Yu-Gi-Oh! He's the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. Which is definitely not true. It's very rapidly proven untrue.
Anyone who wanted to force their way through would need a spacesuit.
He claims the gas will absolutely kill anyone. That's terrifying.
It's not cute like me at all.
Weird takeaway from that, but
And
okay.
Next, we have the third room, the panel chamber.
Yeah, this is definitely Cube. This all feels very Cube.
It consists of 9 panels in a 3x3 layout. It functions as a key to open the door. The 9 panels are set in a special sequence by the doctor. Stepping on them in the correct order unlocks the door.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or is that only the combination to his luggage?
Only the doctor knows the order. Its key is sealed within his memories. Supposedly, even computers cannot analyze it.
That's... I mean, computers might not be able to guess it because they don't have the ability to input it without, like, blowing up the room or something. But, like, I promise you that a computer could, like, crack a 4-digit combination. Like, that definitely could happen.
Also, stepping on the wrong panel will cause an intruder to be shocked at high voltages.
High voltages?
An intruder would be burnt to a crisp before realizing they'd messed up.
That's probably not quite accurate. I think they'd be aware of it like a split second before their agonizing death. Has anyone ever considered doing that Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 1 thing?
It's totally out to boom kill you.
Just cut it out.
It was originally designed to emit a light shock, but the doctor modified it to be deadly.
These asides are really peculiar. Like, we originally designed these security measures to be really ineffectual. But in his weird psychotic malice, he made them effective. Like, what was the plan in the first place?
Why go to such lengths?
According to the doctor, this string of security protocols is not meant to kill intruders.
It's just a happy accident that it ends up with additional test subjects.
It's more like a deterrent. This display of excessive force would cause anyone to give up on breaking in.
That's not really accurate, because if you made it to the breaking in stage, you're pretty much dead, right?
But there is a strong aura of malice here. I guess you could say that's another deterrent.
Aura of Malice. I think that's the name of my deodorant.
It's true. If anyone knew about the obstacles, they would never even try to enter here.
I'm gonna be honest. If someone made a deodorant that was called Aura of Malice, I think I would try it. I legitimately think I would. It sounds like a men's deodorant. I'd try it.
And also note there's a second decontamination device in the panel chamber that's identical to the one in the airlock.
Well, it's not in, it would be adjacent to, right? It would be like the 4th room in sequence?
Of course. This is to prevent the toxic gas from leaking into the lab itself.
Yeah, likely store.
Once the 9 panels are cleared, all that is left is to flip the switch. Doing so opens the final door, beyond which is the doctor's lab.
Oh no, he is saying that the air filtration is within the panel room. Why is there, like, an airlock that doesn't serve a purpose when it can co-join with another defense system? That seems weird.
Speaking of, how does the doctor get in and out of the lab?
I really appreciate that there's just like a little laundry room over there on the right. I don't know why, but that makes me happy. Like, someone actually thought about how you would spend all your time in this room as like a weird scientist obsessed with people's mouths.
Within the lab is a button that fully disarms all security measures. The doctor just presses it whenever he leaves. But he's remained in the lab for months. He seems focused solely on his research and hasn't set a foot outside. There's a toilet and shower, as well as plenty of food and water. Security is perfect, and since he's never interrupted, it must feel like heaven to him.
Even so, it doesn't
He's lounging
seem healthy
again.
to be holed up in there for months.
Why is it that this man's go-to is to just do the French girls pose every single time? I don't know if you noticed, but I put Banana Man up there lounging to make fun of him. And I didn't think it'd be relevant again today, but I left him anyway. But now... See him lounge? See him lounge? Yeah, I think it was a straight-to-DVD movie. Katane says it wasn't a sci-fi original, it just aired on Sci-Fi and never aired in theaters in the US. Debuted in the US on the Sci-Fi Channel, but had theatrical releases in several other countries. Yeah, that sounds plausible. I mean, it's like clearly like an indie movie. I don't know, maybe it was on Sci-Fi Channel before DVD, but like I remember seeing it first on DVD. Probably around the same time.
Did something trigger that?
It's normal for a researcher to be immersed in his own research, but it is worrisome. We won't know the details until we speak to him directly. But from what I've heard, he was part of a big project that was cancelled in the past. He's shut himself in here ever since.
I mean, again, you're like the CEO of like the company, right? You're like the chief executive officer of Amaterasu. Should know these things and have power over them and whatnot.
Big project.
Could it be the homunculus research?
Anyway, as I've just explained, getting through the security here is impossible. If you wish to meet the doctor, you must get him to press the disarming button. In the end, we must communicate with him, which you appear to be better at than I am.
That's not true, but I guess I have to do it.
Yeah, they are really good. I feel like the first one is still the best, but it has been kind of a while since I've seen them. But yeah, like Cube Zero not so good.
I knew you'd be here.
Well, it's pretty much the only place to go if I intend to do what we already explained we were gonna do.
Hi, Yomi. Dr. Weska is safe. I've confirmed it just now. The security system is active, so I doubt the hitman can even get close to him.
Now, there's a world in which that was a pre-recorded message. We don't know that for like 100%.
So, you talked smack about finding that hitman before we do. How's it going?
As of right now, no luck.
You can drop the phony act, masked freak.
Act?
My underlings searched all around the lab, but no intruder has been found.
I need to pay attention. A lot of characters, not necessarily all, but we've seen before that characters have like irises that are like a shape relevant to their character. I think Yomi's might be a square, which would imply that like the important thing to him is those beautiful human cubes.
Which means there was no hitman from the get-go. Isn't that right, you executive of massive fraud?
Are we an EMF? Were we an EMF the whole time? Maybe that's why we're not CEO and no one respects us.
Huh?
I know you're the one who made up that death threat, Makoto Kagutsuchi. What are you plotting? Why are you even here?
I think his iris is a square.
You seem to have a misunderstanding. There's no doubt someone's been here before us. Besides, what would I gain from such a plot? I just want to have a little chat with Dr. Weska.
What business do you have with Dr. Weska? Don't pretend you're just here to talk about the weather!
I should hope not. It's been raining continuously for 3 years. It wouldn't be a very interesting conversation.
I want to see if he needs my help with anything. I have a duty to watch over Amaterasu and Kanai Ward as a whole.
They're rolled dice to 1. Hey, I have an emote for that. It'd be funny if his iris was the entire VascoDaGamer emote.
What? What have you ever done for Kanai Ward? All you do is look down on it from on high.
See, they want the same thing. It's just a misunderstanding. It's just a sexy misunderstanding, that's
The
all.
peaceful order you see when you gaze upon it is thanks to my righteous justice. I'm the one guiding these lazy fools. I brought civilization to this place.
Yeah, those are 100% square eyes.
I don't need you messing with the proper order of my city! Hey, tell Mr. CEO that he doesn't belong here.
Who's he addressing just now?
Politely escort him out. Make sure he can still talk, though.
You said a thing that didn't sound like violence, but then implied there would be like a lot of violence.
There are plenty of things I need to ask him.
What a coincidence. I was hoping to have a nice chat with you two.
I don't really understand what's happening.
Wait!
It's all right, don't worry. We're just going to talk for a bit. I'll be right back.
What even are you?
Reasonable question, and one I get asked a lot.
Huh?
You're not a citizen of Kanai Ward, nor are you a detective.
Interesting that he would be up on the minutia of that distinction. Hey, Angel, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the 55-month resub. That's so many months. Have one of these. Hope everything's been going okay on your end. I think you had mentioned hurting some drama llamas, and I know that sometimes that's not a great experience. Maybe I just don't understand what it means to be polite. That's potentially true.
What point is there in your existence?
Again, I get asked these questions a lot. I feel like I know this character.
Not that I care about small fries like you anyway. Just
I always-
lock 'em up somewhere.
I always upsize to large fries.
Huh? Wait! Shinigami, what do I do?
Polite violence?
Jeez, you are always begging for help. I must admit, seeing you so pitiful is nice. I'm gonna stare at you for a while.
Such good friends.
Don't say that! Help me!
It's not like there's anything I can do in this situation anyway.
What if there was a corpse,
Please,
though?
Wait!
God, it sure feels like we're spinning our wheels really hard here, huh?
Hey,
Does it feel to anyone else like we've accomplished nothing but, like, listen to it? You know what this entire stream has been?
He's talking way too long and none of it sounds true at all.
Tell me I'm wrong. That definitely feels like what we've been doing here. It's just like, people keep talking, and then nothing happens, and then we have a different conversation for a long time. I know it's a visual novel, but, like, usually the conversations, like, lead somewhere. It can't be Mystery Labyrinth time. We haven't learned anything. We just know how to die in that series of death chambers on the way to the doctor.
Shut up and stay put!
Here we are again, huh? I'm growing bored of this, Master.
Sarah says we got to watch Yomi and Makoto flirt. I mean, that is true, but I don't know why we needed to change scenes multiple times to see that happen like twice.
Seriously, why does this keep happening to me? It's like some evil spirit is haunting me.
I mean, it's like very much like that. Like very much like that. Because that's true.
What? That's impossible. Although, you do have an adorable partner here.
Skull joke?
Oh, there you go, sighing again. Keep it up and something bad'll happen.
I hope a meteor crashes down on me.
It's really funny that I was gonna joke that that would happen. I don't know why. That was the first thing that came to mind. Then he just said that he hoped it happened. Someday I hope to die, or whatever Vivia says. Yeah, it'd be great if that meteor, like, hit here after crashing into that helicopter that the World's End Club stole that one time. If you know, you know. Worth noting that the creator of this game, being the Danganronpa creator, is one of the people who worked on World's End Club, if that wasn't obvious.
Oh, it's that late already? The guy inside beats me. He seems to have quieted down. Anyway, you can take it from here.
Seems to have quieted down. We're the most, like, mild-mannered, like, neurotic person that exists. Like, what were we doing? Other than, like, briefly being like, I hate this situation. I hope a meteor kills me, and then remaining silent for several hours. Is that really enough of an outburst that they're like, he quieted down? These guards have weird proportions. They are definitely not regular guards. The one on the left is a little short to be a stormtrooper.
What are you doing? Am I gonna be tortured? Please, wait. I don't know anything, honest.
Stand up. Your sentence has been decided. You will be put to death.
Death?
Wow! You got the death penalty just for tagging along?
I mean, they told us that was gonna happen. This can't be that big a surprise. You could be unhappy about it, but like, it was a known quantity.
I don't want you to die, Master!
Well, you should have thought of that before you kept saying boom kill and then teasing me about everything until I got killed.
Then do something!
However, I will give you one chance. If you wish to escape your fate, say the name of the girl you like.
It's so stupid.
Huh?
It'd be really awkward if he gave the wrong answer.
Come on. That's enough fooling around.
Won't you let me have a bit more fun? Tetsuhiko and Chief Yako?
It's implied either that we really rapidly took off our disguises or that we, like, modeled our skin like putty and we just shook it off.
Took you long enough to notice, Yuma. If you're this dense, no wonder you got caught.
I mean, in fairness to Yuma, the whole point of that ability is that it should be able to fool people. And also, we have no reason to think that either one of these people knows that we're here or would have any means to get in here without dying.
So, you used your disguise!
I wouldn't really call it a disguise. This is more like a change of clothes for me.
So who is the girl you like anyway, Master?
Never mind that now.
Anyway, what are you doing here, Yuma?
That's what I want to know. Why are you two here?
First off, you need to calm down, Yuma. Tell me what you're doing here.
But I asked you also. Maybe not first, but definitely also. Also, like, I wouldn't say that Yuma was panicking, and it feels like a weird energy to start this conversation with. You need to calm down.
Well, I was investigating that secret lab and...
This implied that I recounted verbatim all the dialogue of the past hour and a half of gameplay.
I see. So that masked CEO had a hand in things. No wonder you were all fidgety when you came back to the agency.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
I'm sure you had no choice. Oh, that's nothing to be proud of, mind you. It's not some stranger with a sweet whisper that has your back when it matters. It's your friends, right? Don't misjudge these matters. Think carefully about who really cares for...
Hey, now's not the time to give a lecture. Why are all old men like this?
I'm not that old.
Master sure is an expert at getting into trouble. You're also an expert at crying out for help.
You tire of this lady ghost, despite her curvature.
But I wonder why these two are here. So, why are you two here?
Oh, this was delivered to us after you left the agency.
The same death threat? That's weird. That actually does feel like evidence that Makoto, the mask guy, did this after all. Because, like, how else would this have been addressed directly to the detective agency? It seems very unlikely that someone local would try to contact them, regardless of their motives, unless they, like, specifically knew the detectives and had other motives, which I feel like basically only Makoto fits that description.
It's the hitman's death threat. Why was this sent to the detective agency?
I don't know.
Beats me. But this Dr. Weska guy is famous among Amaterasu's staff. Also, I remembered he shut himself up inside their headquarters. So we came here to the headquarters and saw the Peacekeeper's director head inside looking all irritated. Which was our cue that something must have happened.
And that's where I came in. I hid myself among the other peacekeepers and followed them inside. To what happened to be the secret lab itself. I heard some careless detective got captured, so we came to help.
It's implied that, like, several hours passed. What were you doing? It sounds like you came in at roughly the same time that we did, which also doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. You really saved me.
Because in order for them to, like, follow the director of the Peacekeepers in, he entered at, like 20 seconds after we did. How could they possibly have left the submarine base? Like, specifically these two. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if Vivia was one of the two who came here, like, he and the boss were, like, together at the same time around the time we left. But, like, Desahiko, like, wasn't around. So, like, how did they get the death threat, join up, get into the base, like, at the same time we did when we, like, headed straight to Yellow Car and, like, drove into the base with the CEO, who has, like, CEO clearance and no other CEO authority. Like, that genuinely doesn't make any sense. So it says, why can boss do the disguise thing, too? Coalescence is our thing. I don't know, man. Disguise is kind of a weird power, because, like, you can sort of argue that you just could put the costume on people. So, like, maybe... I'm, like... Far be it for me to give the game this much credit, but I can give you an explanation that might be possible, which is Desahiko can change, like, his actual, like, shape, like his height, his physical features, but, like, he also has a cartoonish backpack that has, like, an infinite amount of disguises in it that I think are supposed to be just, like, basically props, like actual physical things. So, like, maybe Desahiko can, like, make himself taller or shorter or whatever, and, like, we can do that with the power of coalescence to look like specific people, but, like, to just put on a Peacekeeper disguise, like, just like a normal person, like, boss could do that. Also, hi, man, welcome to the stream. What have you walked into? Another rant, of course. I don't know what you expected. Thank you for the 76-month resub. It's been a really dialogue heavy stream. I thought we were going to be solving a mystery, but people just keep mansplaining at and near and around us. And he says, I say Desahiko's backpack is a magic bag that lets him pull out what the plot needs. I would almost go that far. I don't think it has everything you need. I think it has everything you need to, like, look like a certain person. I think it's basically like the world's most comprehensive Spirit Halloween that he just carries around on his back.
Thanks to this letter, we were able to find the secret lab.
But this Fink the slaughter artist guy...
I forgot that was his name.
Scattering death threats all over town? Doesn't that just make it harder to kill the target? The Peacekeepers have ramped up their security.
You'll never understand what these wacky named psychos are thinking. Maybe he prefers having a challenge or something.
Are you looking for a challenge?
I don't know what the hitman is plotting, but there's only one thing we need to do.
So this is, based on that explanation, this is the first time she's ever been jealous of Desahiko. That's fair. There's not a lot of good reasons to be jealous of Desahiko.
We must take Dr. Weska into custody as soon as possible and extract information about Kanai Ward's ultimate secret.
I'm not entirely sure that's how detectives operate, even though you've posited a fictional world where detective means something technically different than our world. That still sounds wrong. Instead of solving the mystery, we'll just arrest a random guy and interrogate him unlawfully. On second thought, that might be what detectives do.
If they really are researching homunculi, then he would know.
But from what Yuma said, this mission won't be that simple. The masked man is meeting the doctor for a reason, and the Peacekeeper director is after him too. On top of that, some first-rate hitman's gunning for him.
Is he number 42?
The fight over Dr. Weska is taking shape. Our competition's quite the lineup.
I mean, wait, is Yako finally fine with doing the task that has been assigned to him? That's a really good point. I definitely would expect more resistance from him. It's not like we've done anything in particular to demonstrate that he has like a personal stake in this that would change his normal attitude. Like, he didn't even seem as annoyed as usual that we were involved in a dangerous situation when he came in here.
We can outsmart them all. The Nocturnal Detective Agency has been pressed in on all sides, so it's about time to show them what we're made of.
Cotton candy.
Oh, Chief, you're usually so pessimistic. I like what I'm hearing. All right, let's do this!
Hey, this logistical question about those disguises again. Do you think that Yakko was smoking inside that gas mask the entire time? I feel like that'd be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, let's.
Nice! I love this totally gung-ho attitude. It's super stupid, not that I mind one bit.
Yuma, you want to put on a disguise? I'll match your preference and make you look like a lady peacekeeper.
I mean, I didn't ask for that, but... okay.
I don't have a preference.
Oh, wait, I had to hide my bag on the way here. I need to get it first.
Let's go.
Maybe you should have...
For the first time, I think Fuzzhead and the Shorty Detective are kinda cool.
Wait, they locked me in like a security room where I could like see everything going on? Why is everyone in this world so inept? Also, nothing in this room is worth DP? I don't really understand this game, do I? After all this time I've invested. Is there a memory shard or something back here? It's weird that I can walk all the way back here. No, it's just kind of weird. I guess it's just kind of weird.
All right.
Let's show them what detectives are made of. I'm surprised when I heard you got caught, my man, without a scratch. Don't mention it. That's what bros are for. Why are the locks on this door 3 hearts? Do you have to beat it at a game of Dungeon Dice Monsters? Is that too deep a cut? It's probably too deep a cut. Oh yeah, as a reminder, supposedly the loading screens were shortened by a patch that happened since the last time we played. Does it feel that way to you? Question mark? Did security willingly put you in the room that has all the monitors for all their cameras? Evidently, yes. That appears to have happened for reasons unknown.
Huh? Whoa! What's going on? A blackout?
I despise both extremely dark and bright places. Please make it just right.
Stupid comment. Okay.
Hang on! Calm down! Don't move about carelessly!
Hey! The lights came back.
Power has been disrupted. We are now switching to backup power.
Ah, so this is when the train car detached or something, yeah? Or maybe it's a bank heist? I don't know.
Review all systems and report any errors.
A blackout at a high-tech place like this? Guess it's not as great as it's made to look.
It's probably a sign of the attack, idiot.
No. Maybe it was.
Could it have been the hitman?
If the security system protecting the lab shut down during the blackout. This is bad. The doctor is in danger.
Let's head to the critical lab right away. We need to protect the doctor.
Yuma, take us there.
Right.
Wait! That blackout should have caused a commotion. If we leave now, the peacekeepers will see us.
Oh, don't make me do stealth again.
This is crawling with them.
What do we do?
I'll draw their attention to buy some time. In the meantime, you two hurry to that doctor.
Huh? You, Chief?
What? You're worried I can't do it? I might not have a forte, but I do have my detective experience backing me up. I'm chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency. Leave this to me.
Why is he acting like a completely different person?
Wow, Fuzzhead looks so cool now.
Okay, good luck.
Wait 3 minutes after I leave the room. I'll get their attention by then. you guys use that opportunity to secure custody of the doctor. I'm counting on you both. See you later.
You're gonna put your helmet on, right?
There's the hitman! I saw him go this way!
3 minutes seems like a long time if that's the nature of his deception.
The more dangerous thing?
That's not true. I'm sure it's also dangerous for the chief to be a decoy.
Well, I guess just being here is dangerous either way.
I think we can go now.
There's no time for a disguise. Let's hurry to the doctor.
We had to wait 3 minutes. Wasn't 3 minutes time for a disguise? I mean, not for us because he didn't have the stuff handy, but like, he's gonna put his mask on, right? He can at least feign, like, prisoner transfer or whatever. Oh god, he's really not. Of course he's
The
not.
hallway is darker than before.
I think it's due to the backup power. The doctor's lab is this way.
There's no time for a detour. Let's hurry.
Do a save because I feel like something stupid is basically imminent. Weird that they call this a Vivia case when he is not here.
I love the atmosphere in this gloomy lab. A monster.
Oh, hang on.
Oh!
You can see inside the lab from here. It looks like the spiral staircase goes further down. No! No, I don't want to go down a spiral staircase in a secret lab. I don't want to go down a secret staircase in a lab. That's what happened to Horan Sunziga. Really digging the vibe here. Like they set out to make the most cyberpunk looking place ever. I don't think I agree with that, but okay.
This place?
It seems like this door is locked. Looks really important. No idea where the key is, though.
I hope Chief Yako is okay. Oh no, someone's still on guard here.
It's clearly like a random woman who's not a guard.
I finally found you.
Yeah, that tracks.
Please, hear us out. We thought the doctor would be in danger, so we...
I no longer have to fear getting lost. I am in your care.
Huh?
Oh, Yuma. Has your amnesia deteriorated to the point that you have forgotten me?
Wait, Fubuki?
Princess, things have gotten complicated. So you can take that off now.
Oh, I forgot.
I don't see how that helps. It's one thing to be like, we don't have time to get to my bag to disguise you. And it's another thing to take that argument far enough to be like, I might as well also not be disguised. But then it seems pretty outlandish to be like, Fubuki, you're already in disguise. You might as well take that off and increase the risk of us being captured. Because, like, even if the three of us were traveling together, if she was in disguise, again, you could make some, like, weird argument of, like, prisoner transfer. Removing the prisoners to a more secure place because of something.
How about now, Yuma? Does my face look familiar?
Oh, Fubuki, you're here too.
Yes, I am a detective and adventurer. The chance to explore dangerous places gets me excited.
Oh, baby. Also, if you're an adventurer, prove it by piloting a hot air balloon to the top of a building.
But because everyone is disguised, I cannot tell who is who.
So that's how you got lost.
As usual, she is such a troublemaker.
Hey, we don't have any time to waste. Let's hurry to the doctor.
I was really concerned that Fubuki joining our party was an indicator that we had to do more stealth, but I'm pleased that that doesn't maybe appear to be the case.
I hope he's all right.
Beep boop. I don't like the reflection of our face that looks like Cousin It.
What? You again? Stop calling me.
Thank goodness. Dr. Huesca, you're still all right.
What are you talking about? The hitman hasn't arrived yet. When will he show up?
Well, he made an appointment for 6:30, but...
Don't tell me this so-called first-rate hitman was captured by peacekeepers?
Lol. Such incredible disdain. Such delicious disdain.
No, the hitman hasn't been caught yet. Anyway, there was a blackout earlier. Is your security system all right?
This critical lab operates on a separate power system that obviously includes its security measures. I can even review the log on the computer itself. Yes, security didn't drop for even a second. It's a baseless worry.
Sheesh. Seems like he stayed safe, but man, this old guy sure is annoying.
Look how many mouths there are to watch.
Annoying? I can see you, you pathetic tiny weakling.
Anyway, it says if the hitman actually got caught, he probably wanted to get caught by peacekeepers. That's true, although I don't know, there's definitely something weird going on. The fact that the detective agency got a copy of the death threat makes me think that maybe there's not a real hitman. It does make it seem more likely to me that Makoto would be behind this as like a really elaborate ruse.
What? You calling me a weakling? How dare you?
Calm down, Desuhiko.
By the way, who is that woman behind you?
Oh, she's another detective like us. She's here to protect you.
A detective woman? Protecting me?
May I see her mouth?
That is right. I shall do my best to protect you.
This might be our chance, princess. That dirty old man has a new look in his eye. Let's draw the geezer out of his hiding place with a honey trap. Ooh, tell him, I will serve you with all my heart, yeah?
He's doing the fingers again. Also, his eyes turned into hearts, and I don't like it.
Sure, leave it to me. Desuhiko says he will serve you with all his heart, yeah?
Can we just have a Fubuki game instead? Can we do that? I want a Fubuki game.
Hey, that's not what I meant.
No, I think that's what you meant. I think that's better than your plan.
I am running low on supplies, so I suppose it's time. If you detectives will protect me.
Whoa, she's super effective.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, attractive young airhead is like 4 times effective against creepy old scientists in Pokemon elemental type science.
Dr. Huesca, I'll come get you. Can you shut off the security on your end?
Huh? Wait. What the?
Oh, that's bad.
Dr. Huesca? What's wrong?
Wait. Who are you? Help! Somebody come help me!
Doctor? Doctor!
Hey,
Snake?
what just happened?
Snake?
Did he say who are you? Was he attacked by the hitman?
But the security system is still active. No one could possibly reach him.
Come on, the doctor was definitely just attacked by someone.
We have to go help him.
Wait, Fubuki, stop! There are toxic gas and high voltage traps inside.
Toxic gas?
High voltage?
Danger, danger. High voltage.
There are some dangerous security devices up ahead.
But at this rate, Dr. Dirty Geezer will...
She calls him Dr. Dirty Geezer. She's the best character in this game by such a wide margin.
That's not his name.
It's not his name. I feel like you basically called him that to his face. You can't be mad that she called him that. Oh, someone actually got the Electric Six reference. That's impressive to me. I don't know. I feel like I only know like one other song by them, and it's not coming to mind. But like, I like that song.
But what are we supposed to do? We can't help him.
What do we do? Should we take a gamble and rush in?
Hey, before you get yourself killed, how about you use your brain first, like a detective should?
I'm pretty sure the point of this gathering is that we can work with Fubuki to coalescence to return to the past if we die to the traps. So I'm pretty sure we're going in there.
I don't know what to do.
That's why you gotta think. There must be some way.
You're telling me to think, but I have no idea. To bypass security and protect the doctor, I should...
Sound the alarm. Hack in. Ask Shinigami for help. Use a toy. What do I think that means? Yeah, the toy feels like it has heavily implied air quotes. I don't think I understand what the game wants me to do. This is worth DP. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much have to say use a toy, even if it's wrong. I do just kind of want to consider what I think these options mean, though. So sounding the alarm would bring the Peacekeepers. That seems awful. That just, like, definitely doesn't seem like what we want. I feel like that's a pretty easy rule out. Hack in. I'm not convinced anyone here knows how to do that. I mean, Dasuhiko's an absolute moron, and Fubuki didn't understand what, like a smartwatch was. She thought we were talking to, like, a little man in our watch. Ask Shinigami for help, like, definitely seems wrong under these circumstances, because we're not going to the Mystery Labyrinth, and we don't need a corpse puppeted, and that's mainly what she's good for, unless we want sexist comments. So, like, to some extent, I legitimately think use a toy might be correct, but to be honest with you, I don't know what that means. It's possible I should know what that means, but I don't know what that means.
I know.
That was worth 30 points.
That.
Maybe we can use that, everyone.
Use what?
This lab has been developing a toy robot.
Okay. I see where you're going. I'm trying to understand if there was something in particular you said that made me think that... I mean, I don't have any reason to think it'd be insulated against the shocks, but, like, it obviously wouldn't die to the poison gas, right?
Toxic gas wouldn't affect it, and it's supposed to be durable, so I'm sure it could withstand high voltages.
That seems like a pretty big leap, but okay.
I saw one in the other room. You're totally right. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, let's go get that robot.
Oh,
Don't forget the robot.
If we all leave this place, isn't there a chance the intruder could escape? He could even get away with the doctor.
Then shall I remain here and keep watch?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. The whole return to the past situation.
Are you sure, Fubuki?
Yes. If someone shows up, I can just turn back time.
Sure would be so jealous.
Oh, I guess there's that. Well, we should leave her here then. She's better at this than us anyway.
You can count on me.
All right, let's go get that robot.
Good.
Good. He says that like Zelda being excited about that wizard dying in the CDI game. You killed me! Good. So he says maybe me and Fubuki can do some legwork.
Master, you gotta hurry!
You really can't skip the legwork. It's very important. I need you to understand
This way, this way! Master, maybe it's here. The sign reads Robot Lab.
Dasuhiko said he saw it. Why are we guessing?
You're right. Excuse me.
Can I steal a robot? Oh, it's that character.
What the? More peacekeepers? When will you leave me alone?
We're clearly not peacekeepers. Why do you have a green heart stamp on your head? Were you in like a Magic the Gathering Pro Tour limited pack? They do that to make sure you don't smuggle cards into limited games.
All that commotion going on and the blackout too. I can't concentrate on my research.
That's not it. We're not peacekeepers. We're detectives. There's something we'd like help with.
It's implied we told this strange man our life story for some reason.
And that's what happened.
Really? Dr. Weska? Let me think about it.
That man is growing a mushroom on his head. You can see it right there. Also, it looks like he has a Star Trek style like transporter pad back there. I feel like we should, just for the sake of making sure he doesn't have that technology, ask if he could beam us over there. Sarah says, I wish he had the herb accent, which I'm assuming is the transcription of
I really need him to decide quickly.
We're supposed to wait a little, so how about we kill some time checking that place out?
Points.
Oh,
Shelf has a bunch of files with research reports. Needed to make toys? Just how much work was put into Amapal. Nope, it's a bad name. Monitor seems to be showing a report from Amapal. We have absolutely no idea what it means. You probably have to be a researcher here to understand.
this place.
I think they might be testing robots in there. He am a pal. No, I mean, I get it, and you're not wrong. He am a pal. How else would you check if they handle high voltages and toxic gas? I mean, I don't think that's what they're doing. Any other points? Can I have points? You there, do you have points? You're not a peacekeeper? Well, whoever you are, don't interfere with my research.
Sorry.
Aww.
The textbook example of a focused intellectual. Your head's not wired like that, right, Master? Shut up. Shut up. Wow. I think that's like the most direct, like, rebuff we've given to her the entire game in that random aside. Amapal poster. Behold, a friend for a new era by Amaterasu Corporation. Oh, that's probably what it is. Amapal. That's even worse. The remote-controlled robot with a camera. Amapal. It can withstand even the roughest play with your rowdiest children. It's tough enough for an elephant to stand on.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go out the door. I'm trying to, like, walk past it, you nerd. Look at Amapal.
Hey, don't mess with Amapal without permission.
I just wanted to look at him.
So it's called Amapal. Is the robot really as amazing as you describe it?
An amateur like yourself cannot fathom it. Amapal is a fusion of all the state-of-the-art technology in our lab.
Does he make julienne fries?
Some researchers are even considering implementing it as part of militarized weapon technology.
That seems like a bad sign when coupled to some of the other stuff I know about this robot.
But investing state-of-the-art technology into a toy is the epitome of peaceful civilization, don't you think?
Not when you factor in that military thing you said.
It may be true, but there are other things to worry about right now.
It occurs to me that over here there are different models of the Amapal. I'm gonna pronounce it as Amapal because that is funnier to me. Could we have one of these cool ones? Like white robot with little mouth, or like tiny pink robot?
Yeah.
Do you understand the benefits of this experiment will impart on human society if it proves successful? Of course we know. If it's successful, you get to finish your work. And then enjoy a romantic dinner with me. Isn't that the benefit you're talking about? No, no one's relating to this.
Goodness.
If you don't understand, kindly keep your mouth shut. She's not having it. Didn't think that'd be worth points, but it sure was. Okay, I think I've run out of stuff.
Are you close with Dr. Weska?
No way. He's not close with anyone. But there isn't a single person at Amaterasu Corporation who doesn't know about him. He's famous in a variety of ways.
I think that guy's famous.
To be quite blunt, we don't get along. His research is sanctimonious and unethical.
Hey, what are his irises? What are this guy's irises? They almost look to me like the female symbol, which is a little interesting, if true.
He'd sacrifice others for the sake of his research without hesitation. Where most people falter, he's remorseless.
Growing some more mushrooms?
I heard he shut himself in the critical lab, and honestly, I wouldn't care if he remained there the rest of his life.
Does that extend to him being dead there now?
That old guy is really hated around these parts. Although, I totally get it.
Looks like I don't have a choice. I'm
I
obligated
guess it can't
to
be
help,
helped.
even if it's Dr. Weska. All right.
If that's true, why'd you have to think so hard about it?
That is the purpose of science, after all.
By the way, is he also wearing, like, a pin vaguely resembling himself, but, like, with Astro Boy hair or something? What's going on there? On his lab coat.
This is such a big help. Thank you.
Listen carefully. You can control Amapal through this tablet. A display will appear, with the camera's feed from behind Amapal's eyes. Observe through here, while moving Amapal with the controller. Bumping into walls won't hurt it, so there's no need to be overly careful.
All right, I'll give it a try.
It would be extremely funny if this robot that, like, literally bills itself as being strong enough for an elephant to stand on was like, but don't let it touch the walls or it will explode. Warning, do not taunt Amapal. I think they're supposed to be little robots. His irises? Maybe. I don't know. I stand by my previous assertion, though it may not be correct. It is still the thing it most looks like to me.
Also, regarding Amapal's
Also, hi,
arms,
Castle. How's it going?
For child safety purposes, the ends of his arms are ball-shaped.
You know what? I'm not even going to
It
speculate.
is unable to grab anything, but has enough strength to flip a switch.
That's not a lot of strength. That's a weird way of billing that.
But it won't respond to any other commands while retracting or extending the arms. So keep that in mind.
This robot sucks hard. This robot is really poorly designed. He can't touch anything, but he can really slowly push a button. Keep in mind that if he does that, all other functionality ceases for a surprisingly long duration.
For example, until the arms fully retract, it cannot move or turn its head.
I mean, that's clearly a plot point. There's no reason to, like, have a robot work that way.
This prevents the arm wires from tangling up, keeping children from getting too adventurous while playing.
They're not even wires, they're like pistons. Kessel says, this robot is designed to solve a very, very specific puzzle in a very, very specific way. Yeah, he might as well just say that, right?
That's everything. Any questions?
Nah,
No,
David S.
I think I
Pumpkins,
got
I
it.
think I'm good.
Amapal is built to be tough. Obviously, the elephant thing is an exaggeration for advertisements, but its load capacity is 100 kilograms.
I do feel like before we leave, we should specifically ask this person if Amapal can endure high voltage shocks.
That being said, I don't know if it can survive high voltages.
I mean, I guess it's implied that we actually told him the circumstances of what we need, but it's kind of funny for him to say that seemingly out of nowhere.
Oh,
Still, human life takes priority. Please return it to me once you're done.
I mean, it's not like it's their only prototype. Like, if this was the only Amapal they had, I would understand his reservations. But, like, it's commercially available, right? Like, they advertise it in town. So, like, losing one unit for the sake of trying to, like, save the life of this important researcher seems like something we shouldn't actually have to think that hard about.
Other Amapal
Even if we
units are
hate him?
broken right now, so it's the only one that's functioning.
That's a great question. Can this robot carry half-bodies onto a soccer field? Unclear. I mean, it's problematic that it seems to have sort of a tripod layout instead of like a unicycle dealy. Which for some reason makes me think of that old NES like robot baseball game that I used to play in the like after school daycare in elementary school, which rocked. My favorite thing about that game is like when like you could like pitch the ball to throw it at the robots and it would like deal hit point damage to them, and then like if you had like a close call, like something that the umpire would have to call, like someone sliding into base or whatever, the two robots would on the opposing teams would like fight each other. And, like, you could definitely reach a state where the game had to be called on account of too many robots being destroyed, which it disappoints me that baseball hasn't reached that point yet. I feel like that is the future of baseball. But in that game, you could have different models of robot. I think you could customize, like, a whole team. And you could have, like, wheelie robot or floaty robot, or I don't know if you could have tripod robot, but you get the point.
Understood.
Speaking a Cockney accent about the Chinese room. Castle's going real deep on the works of Uchikoshi. I like how he crouched down like he was gonna talk to it.
Welcome back. Oh, what a nice robot. Did you decide on a name yet?
I love Fubuki so much.
Sure. Anyway,
you can't say sure and then not name the robot.
No. I kept watch the whole time, but no one entered or left the room.
Ah, crap, it's a locked room mystery.
Which means the doctor and the intruder are both still inside.
Let's check the intercom again.
There's like 0% chance that man is gonna answer the phone. You know this.
Actually...
Yeah.
By the way...
Name for the robot. How about Porta? Oh, I know. How about Isaac?
Huh?
Isaac? Yes, that is the robot's name. We really don't have time to be naming it. No, I mean, we already did it.
Doing okay. It's no use. Still no answer.
It's no use!
He's not just ignoring us, right? It's reasonable to suspect something happened.
I mean, it's reasonable to suspect something happened. It's definitely also possible that he's ignoring it.
We still might make it in time. Let's use the robot to investigate the situation in the lab.
So that's the toxic gas chamber over there. They sure made this extremely dangerous. Yuma, don't go too far in. If you open that door by accident, the whole place will be filled with toxic gas.
Don't worry, I have this extremely poorly constructed robot.
Leave Amapal here, and let's head back.
Right. We'll leave the rest to Amapal.
Do we actually know the range of the tablet? It'd be really awkward if we, like, got outside of the RC range.
Okay, switching it on now.
His name is Isaac. How rude. So are you saying how rude in the sense that, like, how dare you say that we don't have time to name him? We already did. His name is Isaac? Or are you upset that she chose the name Isaac for some reason? Yeah, I'm gonna take the wild stance here that these loading times have not been reduced as drastically as was implied. They may be shorter, but they're not, like, noticeably shorter. Oh, I see. They were still calling him Amapal, even though Fubuki already named him. Oh my god, look at his icons. Oh, I'm covering some of them. Hold on. Hold on. Everyone hold, please. Look at his icons. We have... I think that top one is a siren. He has little plastic trumpet. He has bell and keyboard. Also, magnifying glass is kind of covered by the actual UI of the game.
It's like the cockpit of a mecha.
Is it? When you look at the Megazord, do you presume that the 5 controls you have are look, keyboard, trumpet, bell, siren?
Whoa, what was that?
I think it's just nice at laws. Don't worry about it.
Break already? I thought it was state of the art.
It's only at 75%. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't on the charger when we took him, in fairness. Maybe it's the easy button from Staples.
It's stabilized.
If that's true, why would you ever need to push another button? Presumably, that's the only button you ever have to push. Seems unnecessary to code 4 other buttons.
Phew. Scared me for a second.
Shinigami's Tutorial Corner!
Oh god, that's like a lot of buttons. There are 4 buttons for make noise. I need you to understand that there are 4 buttons to make noise. There is... X is extend, retract, arm. Directions are directions. And then any shoulder button makes noise.
Master, does controlling a robot get you going?
That's a weird question. But since you've asked, yes. Amapal can move forward and backward and rotate left and right. Pilot Amapal with finesse to get to the destination. Do I have to do it with finesse?
This part seems important. Maybe.
Also, Amapal can extend its arm and make exciting sounds. Have fun operating Amapal!
Amapal on the
Sounds like Zingbot. Hold on.
Whoa, what's going on? Oh, it's just Amma, pal. Don't scare me like that.
These don't map in a way that makes sense to me, but that's fine.
Hey, Master, can you play any instruments? Like the piano, trumpet, or guitar?
I'm not sure. I don't think I can, but maybe I could before I lost my memory.
A detective should at least be able to play the violin.
Stupid.
They say that famous one played it a lot.
Stupid joke. As I'm glad I'm here in time for what looks like a painful segment of the game. Yeah, my immediate thought is this feels like it's gonna be bad. I agree with you.
It sounds like a toy.
Well, it is a toy.
I don't know why I have all these buttons, but I do have them. Thanks, Amma Pal. Thank you.
Ugh. Even through the screen, it feels awful to be traveling through toxic gas.
I am beginning to feel sick.
Yuma, let's hurry up and get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Why is the other door open? In the example, in the hypothetical demonstration of this room, the door automatically locked. I made a whole big deal about how extremely comically locked it was. I gotta be honest, this isn't...
Expected. I don't see anyone. Guess no one's here.
This isn't, like, nearly as interesting of a way to address the created problem as I expected. It's reasonably clever, don't get me wrong. I get what we did here, but, like... I don't really need to, like... I mean, this is the first place I have to care about anything.
Substance detected. Commencing decontamination. The door will be locked until decontamination is complete.
The door's been locked?
Locked.
Is there a key and latch somewhere?
It appears that the system won't let it open until the toxic gas has been removed.
I mean, yeah, that seems like the whole point.
Well, if the door opened before then, the toxic gas would leak out.
Everything's spinning!
It sounds just like Zingbot. It's actually really upsetting.
Looks like it's done.
That didn't take very long at
The
all.
issue was the floor panels with high voltage currents.
Wait, actually, that raises a question. What was the deal with that pointless interlude? Why did we need to establish any of that if it was resolved without any action on our part and almost immediately?
If you step on them in the right order, the door unlocks, right?
But only the doctor knows the combination. And if you fail, it will shock you at a high voltage.
Now, I have to assume these sounds exist in some form as a solution to this puzzle. Because there's 4 tiles I'm supposed to step on or whatever. And I have like 4 sound commands. I don't know in what way I meant to apply that, but that's my assumption.
There must be a hint somewhere. This kind of thing usually has some suspicious notes around to help you solve it. Crap. What do we do?
I mean, we could just try different combinations if we're assuming the robot can endure the electricity. If not, I'm not entirely sure why we did this.
There are only 9 panels, so why not just try your luck at it?
But if Amapal is electrocuted, we'll be completely helpless. I can't just go in blindly.
Then you better think of something, you know, like a detective would.
Still, is there a way to step on the panels in the right order without making a mistake? No, wait. That's it! We might be able to do it using that!
Thanks, Japan. I mean, this is more along the lines of what I thought we'd be doing initially. Shinigami's ability. It's like, Fubuki will let us attempt it, and even if we fail to the point that the robot can't work anymore, we turn back time.
I know! What about Fubuki's forte?
What is it, Yuma? Did you figure out the panel sequence?
No, no matter how hard I think about it, I'll never figure out the correct order. That's why we have to just take a chance.
But if you fail, you should be electrocuted, right?
Yeah. Regarding failing, doesn't this remind you of last time?
What happened again?
I'm accustomed to a great deal of failure. I'll need you to be more specific.
You remember the bomb threat with the Resistance? We were in a similar situation. But thanks to your forte, we managed to get through it.
Oh, you flatter me.
That's
I do,
why
let's
need
get
your help
married.
again, Fubuki. If we don't know the correct order for the panels, then we just need to try every single one. If I mess up, I need you to use your forte to go back to the time before we stepped on a panel.
Oh, I see. That's a brute force sort of method. Great
It
job
is.
coming up with that.
Let's hold hands, Fubuki. I'll measure the timing.
I mean, for a second I got excited that Desahiko would be confused as to why that's happening, and he may feign confusion, but we have already done a case with him, so we should know why that's happening. But it would be really funny if we were just like, let's hold hands for no previously explained reason.
All I need to do is hold your hand?
Yes. Please stay by my side so you don't get lost.
If we're doing this, though, either the two of us have to work on piloting with the tablet, or Desahiko has to do it. Those options are both a little awkward.
Yuma, it looks tricky to control with one hand. Want me to do it for you?
No, it's alright. It's easier to match the timing if I control it myself.
Okay, good luck with having a thing longer, or whatever would be required to do that one-handed.
Oh, come on, man! Just switch with me! I can't be the only one doing nothing!
That's almost funny. That's like almost an actual joke from Desahiko.
Fine. I leave it up to you.
I don't know the right answer, so, we'll just have to try all of them. Leave it to me. Lady Luck is mad in love with me after all.
She's probably mad at you. I think that's different.
Just you watch. I'll get it done in one shot without having to use Fubuki's powers.
One shot? That's nothing. One shot isn't anything. I'm not even controlling it. It's just like doing it.
That was the right one.
We failed. We have to turn back time.
I don't know the right answer, so, we'll just have to try all of them. Leave it to me. Lady Luck is mad in love with me after all. Just you watch. I'll get...
Hold on!
What? Hey, I was just about to start.
You were just about to step on the wrong panel.
Huh? You rewound time and came back?
Yeah, idiot, that's like the whole thing we're doing.
Yeah. Also, Amapel can't withstand the high voltage.
Seriously? Oh, guess luck isn't on my side today. You know, I'll let you handle the controls for Amapal. It'll be easier for you that way.
A pointless interlude.
Right, got it.
Please try not to make more mistakes. Since we are sharing my power, the strain is not too bad on my body, but still.
Resisting urge to say
I
things.
understand.
I wonder which route's right.
Amapal : panel room. Step on the panels in the correct order to reach the switch that opens the door. Now here's the weird thing about that, is that if one of the correct panels is the one directly in front of me, and one of the wrong panels is the middle panel, it like really seems to limit the reasonable options of using 4 panels to get through the room at all. I'm assuming that there's like a little foyer situation on the other side where like there's an area next to the door that doesn't have panels on it. Otherwise, I legitimately don't think it would make sense to be able to do it in 4. You'd need at least 5 not touching the middle. The controls are all the same. 7 panels in the correct order.
A little tough for you, Master.
Floor is blue if correct and it's bad otherwise. It feels a little insulting that the game feels like it needs to explain this to me at this point, but okay, sure. I mean...
Keep going.
Now I mean, it's still trial and error, right? I don't think there's actually any way to know.
Did you come back?
Yeah, we figured out where we went wrong. It'll strain Fubuki if we fail too much. I'd better remember the right path.
I mean, if it's 4 panels and it's supposed to get us to the other side, doesn't that only give us one option now?
All right, that was the right one.
And then, like, doesn't it have to be straight ahead? It has to be straight ahead. The middle is, like, definitely wrong.
It's no good.
That doesn't make sense. I don't feel like that makes sense. There's only 2 options that would remain then. One, that order matters to the extent that the middle might be correct, if not second. Or that I would have to... I mean, I guess it's the same problem, but I'd have to backtrack and go the other way. The more direct way to test that would seem to be to go through the middle. Good job, he says, with me doing nothing. Hi, Echo. Welcome to the stream. Obviously, none of this requires any explanation. Oh, actually, hold on a second.
Whoa, that scared me. Sorry.
That's better.
Keep it up. Yes.
Okay, but that's 4 panels. Wasn't the combination supposed to be 4 panels? That's annoying.
We failed.
All right. Thank goodness. This was the
It's
right
weird to me that the game treats this as some, like, complicated interface. Or, like, some grand puzzle. When it really is trial and error.
Keep it up. Your control is amazing.
That's what Fubuki said?
You've made it this far.
Alright, it's time to activate
Nice work, Master.
the slowly moving danger pressing mechanism. I don't even have control for that?
We
After all
actually
the...
made it.
After all the ridiculous hoopla made of that sequence, it's just gonna do it in a cutscene? Who is the robot? Robot's name is Isaac.
Goodness.
Fubuki named him.
Great job, Princess. From my perspective, it looks like you two went straight through without making a mistake. Looks like this is it, my man. Hurry up and hit that switch.
We just need to stretch Amapal's arm out to that switch.
So stupid. By the way, am I, like... am I completely insane? Didn't we say that the combination... Didn't we say that the combination was like 4 panels and that was definitely more than 4 panels? Just to puzzle everything you thought it'd be? It's everything I thought it would be. It definitely wasn't everything I hoped it would be.
We're in a hurry, but this door is moving so slowly.
It's very much the ridiculously slowly moving dipping mechanism from Austin
That should be
Powers.
good enough. Hurry up and move Amapel through that crack in the door.
Oh yeah. Didn't the researcher mention when an arm's extended, no other controls will function? I guess I need to pull back the arm first.
Now we can move again. Hurry, Yuma.
I'm pretty sure that that was meant to establish that someone was able to escape while the door was blocking our peripheral view. That is my current guess. I don't know what the noises are for, but I enjoyed them nonetheless.
Whoa, what's going on? Amapel fell over.
Maybe somebody pushed it over.
Huh? But who? Huh?
Hey, is that the doctor?
A part of me already expected it. but I still doubted what I saw with my own eyes. Although no one could supposedly enter this lab, Dr. Wesker lay dead in a bloody mess.
He seems
I
upset.
tried my best to assess the situation as a cold chill went through my whole body.
Except for my left hand,
chill
weirdly.
Of fear itself. Something impossible had happened. I felt afraid beholding that fact.
Well, at least the knife doesn't say myrmidons on it.
Back up to check the surroundings. We can't see anything while it's down.
I mean, we could see what we can see, which is his feet. About to ask to hear the other answers. Oh yeah, we got time for that. Hold on.
I'm trying.
Surprise me!
Oh, it's not actually letting me control. I want to make stupid noises instead of plot.
It's back. Take a look, quick.
There's also a siren that I'm covering in the corner. Which is this one, I guess. Let me go check the laundry real quick. This is important. It won't let me extend the arm when I'm this close to the laundry room. What have we here?
That looks like a blade in his back.
No, he's already dead.
Seriously?
Deadly seriously. He's dead as a doornail.
Why is she eating ice cream?
But how? What happened to the doctor?
It says, I suppose the siren is appropriate for murders. Yeah, it's supposed to be a kid's toy robot that is strong enough for an elephant to stand on it. I don't know that we're using it exactly as intended, but we circumvented the hallway of death traps, which was surprisingly lackluster in its difficulty and execution.
No, we can't say for sure that he's dead yet.
Come on, he's dead.
Yuma,
He might be
use Anabel
napping.
to disarm all the security. We'll go check it ourselves. I'm kind of scared, so I'll be staying behind.
It's so stupid. It's a really tough. He's like so authoritative. Like, just like disarm security and go investigate. I will remain here mostly because of fear. I'm very afraid of this situation.
How about we disarm the security for now? The button should be around here somewhere.
Could be like the only hotspot in the room that isn't a corpse. That we also saw in like a flash forward. Whoosh. Oh, I can't use the arm. Wait, why can't I use the arm?
There, that's the button.
Oh, I have to acknowledge the button's existence before I can attempt to push it. The game's not even following its own needlessly elaborately contrived rules. Oh, and now I have to do it.
Disabling all security systems. Activation has been recorded in the log.
Now, I am concerned as a human that we have enabled the bad guy to escape, because I feel like the bad guy snuck into this room when we weren't looking, or something. Sorry, what is his name? Like, Fink the kill guy? The Slaughtermeister? What the heck's the guy's name? The hitman who's supposedly responsible for killing the doctor? It's like Fink the something. He's definitely a Yu-Gi-Oh monster. There's evidently a bear variant with differently colored left and right sides. Ah, skull joke. Danganronpa joke. Ah, yes, that's right, Neko. Since you have only just arrived, the holiday emote has switched to December. And now we have Santa Vasco giving a gift instead of Vasco Random.
All security systems have been disabled. The status of every room is safe.
Looks
Well,
like
it'll be much
security has
easier
been
to seek a way in.
Let's go, Yuma.
Be careful, Master. There's a high chance someone's hiding inside.
Now it feels weird to control a normal thing instead of a chunky robot.
Toxic gas, right?
Yeah, I don't care if I die, but I must protect Fubuki.
Floor panels have been deactivated. Let's run on through.
Let me reactivate the security before what's-his-face gets in here. Nani? Why are his shoes gone? Is that important or just weird?
Dr. Weska. It's no use. He's dead.
It's no use! I don't like that whiteboard back there, which is like a bunch of random dots on it. Like, I know that in general use, that sort of thing could happen, but it's just like really displeasing to look at. I would prefer it to be blank or have like random like equations or just gibberish or something on it. It says, I tried looking everywhere for the Jazzwares Deluxe Pokemon Advent Calendar, but it really was just a Target exclusive, and Target isn't in the UK. A, I didn't know that Target isn't in the UK. B, I'm very sorry that that happened. I feel like I might have seen that a couple months ago. There's one time I was running errands in Target and just like randomly saw Advent stuff.
Damn! Why does it have to be such a bloody mess? Murder cases aren't my specialty.
You picked the wrong place to go, my guy.
What's going on here?
Might be important and weird. That is true. It could be
much
both.
bloodshed in this town.
I suppose it can't not be weird, but it can either be weird and important or just weird. That's probably more correct. I haven't set up my new photo album for Advent Calendar 2023 on the Discord or anything, but I did open the first one today. I got the Marvel one again because the box has Spider-Man in a Christmas sweater, and all other things being equal, it's a pretty good selling point. Day one is a different character who is neither Spider-Man nor in a Christmas sweater. I'll try to remember to post that shortly after the stream.
It has been a while since we came to this city, but I still do not believe I shall ever get used to this.
Aw, how pitiful. The detectives can't keep it together.
Master, show off your investigative leadership here. After all, your corpse discovery rate is the best in the biz.
I feel like that's a thing to worry about.
You too, Master? But you've already seen a ton of corpses.
You've practically built the House of 1,000 Corpses.
Fubuki's right. I'll never get used to seeing this. The body's still warm. He must have been killed only recently.
I briefly had a weird, unsettling sense that he was going to say, the body's still warm. Perhaps I can cuddle
Who
it.
killed the doctor? No, before we even ask about who. How? The security system was still active before we arrived.
This robot is
All of
so
how
stupid.
proved it. How did the culprit get past the security and make it all the way here?
Maybe he was a contortionist who managed to fit his entire body in a single briefcase.
And where did the culprit go?
I like that Dasuhiko's like holding his extremely dramatic anime pose.
No one seems to be hiding nearby. And we didn't come across anyone on our way over here. The culprit just disappeared.
Maybe they crammed themselves inside the robot.
It's impossible. It's a completely impossible crime.
The security has been disarmed.
Whoops.
What's going on?
This is bad. It's the Peacekeepers.
We're gonna go straight in the mystery labyrinth? Like we're due to be murdered here.
They're already here.
What's going on here? Why is a member of our city dead? And why are these outsiders acting like they own the place?
I feel like you sort of already know the answer to that, and you definitely know that you don't like the answer to that.
What is this disgusting chaos?
Please, hear us out.
So you
This
did
worked so well before.
No! By the time we got here, he was already...
Are you a natural-born criminal? Or are you death itself, visiting us from the other side?
That second guess is surprisingly close, actually.
Yuma, should I turn back time? If we were holding hands, maybe...
Don't move. Any suspicious movement, and I'll execute you right here, right now.
I'm still genuinely unclear as to why this hasn't happened on like at least 3 separate occasions.
You'd had to serve a combined sentence of 150 years. So I might as well give you the death penalty instead!
I bet this guy's Ace Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster is like Square Eyes Red Dragon.
Wait! Turn yourselves in and I'll give you a chance to share your excuses. Also, I'll host a little party where you'll want to cough up all you know about the others and where they're hiding.
You think the reason that text is in yellow is because it's not a real party? Shh. It's weird that it's highlighted that way, though.
So, you're gonna torture us?
No, he said party, Desahiko. Pay attention.
Who can say? We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, it's a surprise party.
But for now, we humbly invite you to the jail suite. Take them away.
Shinigami, let's go into the mystery labyrinth.
Huh? For the doctor's killer? You can't, it's too early.
Interesting for the game to finally pull the play that we don't have enough evidence for that.
There isn't a single solution key yet. If you enter the mystery labyrinth now, you won't be able to get out.
But we have to!
Are you sure? In the end, the only difference is either dying here or in the mystery labyrinth.
If I'm going to die anyway, I'd rather...
No, stop!
It's definitely Yakko.
What's going on?
That was Chief Yako's voice.
Huh? Did the chief just scream?
I think he had a really unpleasant time in the restroom or something.
Maybe he found the hitman.
Yakko says, maybe party's in yellow because it's an exciting party. There might be cake. Oh, that would be exciting. I have like 40% of a really enormous slice of cheesecake left over for after the stream. I'm excited about that. I'd write that party in yellow.
Then... Desahiko!
Aw, he's giving him a hug.
What are you doing?
Yuma! Find Chief Yako. If we catch the hitman, we can prove our innocence.
There's like 2 guys with like assault rifles or whatever.
Hurry! Go!
Right. Chief.
It's implied that we left without Fubuki for some reason. It's Dragon, the revolutionary. Oh no! Oh no! It's Fink the kill guy. It's Fink Killerstein. How many Fink knives does this man have?
Chief Yako!
The hitman. Fink. The slaughter artist.
What do I do? I need to help you!
Leave me here. Just seek the truth.
What are you saying? I won't leave you behind!
It's too late.
Huh?
Fuzzhead is going to die soon.
What are you talking
Yikes
about?
forever, man.
Forever. This wound is deep.
Aptly timed.
It's fatal. Even if you administered first aid now, he has no chance of surviving.
Liar!
I would.
Plus his blood's contaminated
never
from all
lie
this
about a
radioactive
person
pink paint.
No, that can't be.
Oh my god.
What's going on here?
I suppose you could call that particular color of paint, like, you could call it, like, Barbenheimer colored, right? I mean, it's basically radioactive and pink at the same time. It's clearly Barbenheimer. Why did he detain the only peacekeeper who wasn't holding a weapon? It's a reasonable question, but he's Desahiko, so he's kind of an idiot. And also, there's clearly no way he could have detained all the ones who had weapons. What flavor is the cheesecake? Is the Cheesecake Factory peanut butter chocolate cake cheesecake. I'm sure I've shared it before. It's like my favorite one. It has like every flavor. It has like every good dessert flavor in it.
Please, treat his wound immediately. At this rate, Chief Yago will...
So it all comes to an end with some internal strife.
Huh?
We really didn't do a good job.
After an internal struggle, Yako Furio was killed by his own people. A pitiful, fitting end for an unjust life. Hey, arrest this fucker we caught red-handed.
Please, save Chief Yako. Just a chance. Please give him a chance to live.
Should we?
To hell with him. He's gonna die either way.
Rough.
Please wait! If you treat him now, he might...
Shut up! Why the hell would I help worms like you?
You wouldn't even make a very good human cube.
I was planning on judging you myself, but you went ahead and got yourself killed.
Aw, you wanted to flirt with him too? You both kind of have weird square eyes.
How am I supposed to deal with my pent-up justice?
Buddy, I don't think that's justice. I think that's something else.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
Wow, that's genuinely pretty messed up.
Damn it all!
Stop! Stop! Chief?
Even the second time.
Oh no. So she tried to stop. She tried to turn back time when we weren't holding hands so we weren't aware of it?
The second time? Then that means...
I am sorry. I rewound time, but it was too late. If only I was strong enough to turn back time even further, I could save Chief Yako.
But... Those responsible for killing the doctor and that piece of trash are under arrest. This case is closed.
This is the first time that the Peacekeepers have acted in keeping with the way that they are described. And predictably, it sucks, because it's not remotely fair and you can't do anything about it. But that's like kind of the whole point. Like, in a way that this is frustrating to experience, but in a way, it's the first thing that's made sense with these antagonists. Yeah, like, as much as I hate to see Yako die as a character, I think this whole scene is really well put together in a lot of ways. I mean, the voice acting from Yuma in particular, really strong. Shinigami being, like, serious for a moment, like, finally contrasting her ever-exasperating nature. Like, if you were gonna wait a really long time to have impact, at least that's, like, a good moment to do it for.
We're done here. Take them away.
What are you gonna do, Master? Master, snap out of it! At this rate, everyone's gonna get arrested! Master!
I mean, Vivia's gotta do something at some point, right? It's like the only well, no. Halara's not here either for some inadequately explained reason. Oh, hang on. There she is.
A coin?
Did someone summon Yojimbo?
There's more than I thought. Hey, Alara, how much must I pay for you to handle my share?
At this level, 100 Xian per head.
That seems like a really good deal.
100 Xian. With the numbers here, that's enough for an entire book. What a waste. I guess I'll do it myself.
Hassan.
Detectives.
Alara! Vivia! You're late!
Let me tell you one thing. That coin belongs to me. You'll be returning it.
You know, he'd be in better shape if he hadn't killed a bunch of his grunts in the previous case. Chudo chop!
Go!
Little bastard!
I'm concerned that we ducked into a random room in the, like, weapons laboratory. It seems like that's a way to get yourself dead. Should we go back in that one security room?
I am completely useless. The chief ended up like that. And there was not a thing I could do for him.
Where did we get this makeshift stretcher thing?
Is everyone safe?
Everyone. Except the chief.
Yeah, I mean, we got that, dude.
How is he?
He's
Dead.
unconscious. His pulse is weak.
Damn. How did this happen to the chief? Yuma, did you see anything?
He seems to have blood around his mouth now when he didn't before. I think that's plausible without outside interference, but it feels weird.
Yeah. I passed a suspicious man when I went into the hallway. But by then, the chief was already... The chief said it was the hitman, Fink the slaughter artist.
No, he did have blood around his mouth. He also had blood on his fingertips. Kind of a lot.
Then, he fell unconscious.
So, it's confirmed the hitman got to him.
Is that Darth Vader? I mean, I feel like if it was Darth Vader, he would have killed with something other than a Fink the slaughter artist branded knife. He is supposed to be a hitman named Fink the slaughter artist, which we're meant to take very seriously. He does, however, bear a resemblance to a One Piece character who, like, always wears, like, a black rain slicker like that and is a very imposing individual called, like, Dragon the Revolutionary. Hello, Critwitch. Thank you for, the resub. Where are we at now? We're on month 4 of 6-month gift subscription. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Angel, again, for the ongoing gift sub. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Things have gotten really dramatic, and it's really refreshing to me. Like, this game has tried to play it, kind of fast and loose with the tone. It's doing that, like, rough thing that anime sometimes does, where, like, the subject matter is serious, but we're still wisecracking. I mean, like, that happens in, like, Marvel movies and stuff, too. Like, it's not just Japanese. But, like, I don't know. Like, it feels a little more cartoony, which I think is a little more on the anime spectrum for, like, that type of silliness. But, like, the stakes are always, like, meant to be life and death. So, like, sometimes it's played all right. Sometimes it, like, has felt weird. I've been complaining even earlier today, about how, like, our nemesis is supposed to be this, like, cutthroat, like, murderous authoritarian regime. And we keep, like, running into them, and they, like, never do anything to us. So, like, there actually being stakes is actually really nice. Like, I don't like Yako, the character, being killed off, and I don't like Fubuki, the character, being sad, but I think it's a really powerful moment in a lot of ways for, like, Fubuki, who has the power to, like, turn back time, to not be, like, quite strong enough to make a difference, and as someone who's, like, struggled to prove her worth, for that to hit her so hard. And for Chief, the one who's had no powers to, like, put himself on the line in the name of justice. Like, there's a lot of, like, great character stuff at play here, and the fact that we're, like, behind enemy lines with peacekeepers actively hunting us, like, makes everything seem a lot more serious than some of the goofy stuff we've done before. So, I don't know, it's really interesting. I feel like we're in uncharted territory now.
Damn it all! Why attack our chief?
I couldn't even pursue him. I let the hitman get away.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the one thing he asked you to do when he died.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I mean, I would say it's pretty cool. It's like, it's tough because it's like, if you actually like characters, it can be difficult to see them go through like actual real strife. I mean, even in like most TV shows and movies, that sort of thing doesn't really happen, right? Like, you have some sense in the average like visual media story that like things are gonna turn out okay, but like I think it's really interesting, and it's done pretty well here so far.
No, you were right to not pursue him. If you had, you might not be alive right now.
But
save your regrets for later. Right now, we must consider our next move. Even now, I won't allow time to be wasted.
How did things end up like this? I should talk with the others about what to do next.
Let me look at some random stuff for points first.
This is truly...
It's an astonishing number of monitors. It looks like every inch of the lab could be observed from here, thus making it a weird place to have locked us up before. Can't see anything on the monitors because of the blackout. Were the monitors disrupted by the blackout? Hey, Vivia, what's your whole deal?
Vivia, I didn't know you were here at the lab too.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Chief's orders. Although, I do feel a sense of wonder at the idea of a secret lab. I fully intended to take a lazy look around the place, but I wasn't given the chance to relax. I was dragged around by Halara and forced to search all over. Jeez, no one will leave me alone.
Vivia continues to be pretty relatable.
Master, I get the feeling that he's...
Huh? What is it?
Nothing. Maybe it's just my imagination.
Nah, he seems to be able to see you. I get the impression his forte has something to do with, like, an extrasensory type of sight. He had described seeing the end of the previous case with, like, a bird's eye view, and then was very heavily implying that he's able to see Shinigami, even though she's basically a ghost.
Seriously, what?
Can't force her to talk about it.
Yuma, I'm glad you're safe. I can't handle seeing anyone else covered in blood.
Or Barbenheimer-colored paint.
Tetsuhiko, are you alright?
Yeah, I'll manage. Someone punched me in the face during that scuffle earlier. They damaged my precious moneymaker. Damn it! So, what do we do now? We can't stay here for too long.
I don't know, it seems like we're indefinitely safe in this room as long as we don't advance the plot.
Right.
It's rough that one of the speech bubbles is Yakko.
Halara, what brought you here?
I was preparing to sneak into that restricted area we discussed. But just as I was about to leave, the chief told me about the death threat. So I headed to Amaterasu with everyone else and snuck into the lab.
I'm still confused as to that timing, but I won't belabor the point. It doesn't seem possible that they would have gotten the death threat in time for them to all be here at the same time we were.
After that, the chief told Vivia and I to investigate the area. I didn't think it would end up this way. We should have stayed together as a group.
So let me get this straight. So everyone but us came here and didn't think it was weird that we weren't around because they weren't aware that we left right away. They didn't ask Kurumi Wendy about it, presumably, because I think under the circumstances she would have told us that. So the five of them get here like right after Yomi Hellsmile, which doesn't make any sense to me, but we'll just ignore that. So once they get like into the hallways around here, the plan is more or less this. Yakko, Fubuki, and Desahiko disguise themselves as peacekeepers. Desahiko and Yakko stay together for reasons unknown to me, because they're, like, two of the least physically capable at defending themselves. Then we send Halara and Vivia, who are the most capable of taking care of themselves, together. Maybe they had disguises and got rid of them, but it seems more likely that they just didn't. So they send them off on their own. And then, like, maybe the most confusing thing of all is that they just send Fubuki off on her own in a disguise with no clear direction. She was just hanging out, living her best life.
What's the chief's condition?
Not so good.
We've provided first aid, but
no one will ever appreciate that not funny reference to Pokemon Battle Revolution. It looks like Chief Yakko's physical condition is not so good.
Will he survive?
Nah.
I'm sorry. I don't know the right lie to tell you at this time.
I don't know the right lie to tell you at this time. The dialogue in this game is better than the average visual novel for sure. Even accepting the presence of Shinigami, who drags the average down by a lot. Creature says, I mean, I wouldn't mind just hanging, living a best life. Yeah, true. I mean, of those groups, I certainly wouldn't dislike being in Fubuki's position the least. She has the ability to turn back time, and also was wearing a disguise. The whole stream was a definite step up from other segments. Yeah, I would say that we're on track for this to, like, easily be the best case, although we haven't gotten into the Mystery Labyrinth, and that always sets its own standard for disappointment, to be honest.
So, the chief...
In any case, it's only a matter of time at this rate. We must get him out of here as soon as possible. But that's no easy task. We took out some of the peacekeepers, but many are still around. And Yomi managed to disappear. I wonder if he took advantage of the confusion and ran away. It's unlike him to quietly retreat. He'll return here soon with many more of his underlings.
Then we need to leave this facility right away!
The gate to the lab has been sealed off. Thanks to that, we can't even leave the building.
Are there comically oversized air vents, maybe?
The elevator to the ground level has been disabled too. We have no place to run.
No place to run?
Hi, Chief.
Chief, please stay strong. Chief.
He's still breathing, but he's lost a lot of blood. This is what death looks like. It's the same as every other victim you've seen.
It's not the same. I won't let it be the same.
How are you holding up, Fubuki?
Fubuki, are you alright?
Yes, I will be well once I rest a bit. However, my inexperience resulted in the chief.
It's not your fault. You tried your best to help. I was bewildered and confused, and you brought me all the way here. Thank you so much. I'm the one who's still inexperienced. He was right there. I couldn't do anything to help him.
I mean, you're not a doctor. I don't know what you expect to be able to do in that situation. You didn't even see the attack. You were there, like, moments after.
How can I call myself a detective when I can't even save a friend?
There! Right now you're still a trainee anyway!
Maybe not the correct energy to bring in support in this moment.
Sorry.
I appreciate that she acknowledges that that wasn't correct.
Hey, you got a minute?
Yeah, I mean, we're all gonna die soon, but sure.
We can't stay here forever. We have to take a chance and try busting through the front gates.
I can't agree to that. Wagering on a bet you have no chance of winning is the same as throwing the match.
So you'd rather keep waiting until peacekeepers break down the door? Oh, right. We can use Fubuki's thing.
You know, her thing? You know, Fubuki's thing?
Huh? Mine? Really? I am not sure it is worthy of showing off yet.
Wait, what? Are we talking about your forte? Are we talking about something else? Japan? What?
I've no clue where your head's at, but I'm talking about your thing! Your forte!
What was she thinking about?
If we use that, we can get through the gate without being spotted by the peacekeepers!
That's not really how that works. I mean, like, there's sort of an application that gets you there, but, like, if probabilistically you don't have a very good chance of that working, I don't think her power is a sustainable solution to reach that end.
Even if they catch us, you can just turn back time.
Impossible. The gate can't be unlocked except from the outside.
Good thing you know that for some reason.
The Peacekeeper has to make a call on the intercom to get them to open it. They would never let us through. That won't change no matter how many times you try.
Couldn't Sahiko use his disguise forte to mask his voice if we could find an intercom anywhere?
Then what about Desuhiko's disguise forte? If he looks like a peacekeeper, maybe he can get us through the gate.
I thought about that too, but my bag is outside the gate.
You left the... I mean, it's genuinely somewhat unclear to me how important the bag is to the overall forte. Because if it's 100% necessary, then it's not a forte. It's just, like, Mary Poppins' bag of tricks. But, like, it seems pretty ludicrous to leave it completely outside. I mean, I know it's, like, the size of a house. So, it's, like, pretty tough to smuggle it in. But considering the danger level of the circumstances, leaving it completely outside also seems pretty bad.
This shorty detective is so useless. He can never help when we need him most.
Maybe we have no choice but to force our way through.
Well, I still don't know what Vivia's forte does. Is there any chance that Halora's crime scene forte would help us gather any information about Senior killing you guy?
Don't rush to conclusions. The roulette has yet to stop. Until it does, we must consider the best course of action.
The best course? I don't know.
Well, Critchwitch, I wouldn't discount Mary Poppins, but keep in mind that the context of that observation was that if Mary Poppins didn't have her bag of tricks at hand, the bag of tricks itself wouldn't be that useful, even if it is infinitely useful when it is available. So, like, if his disguise ability requires the backpack but would be helpful, if we don't have the backpack, it is not helpful. What do I need to do?
We're completely...
I won't let that happen. I will never let it happen again.
Okay, that's weird because I didn't actually press the button to advance. He just cut himself off there.
We're completely stuck. So this is where I finally die.
I won't let that
Well, he's been asking for it for ages. Oh, hi, Fubuki.
How did it end up like this?
It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss! No, that's something else. Never mind.
We just happened to appear at the scene of the doctor's murder.
Yes, that's it!
Huh?
The Peacekeepers made up their minds that we're responsible for killing Dr. Weska. They don't think the hitman even existed in the first place.
So what? Proving that doesn't help us in this situation at all.
Yeah, but, like, solving mysteries hasn't helped us in any situation, yet somehow it's kept us alive all this time.
But what if we proved our innocence? What if we could prove this was done by the hitman?
They're still an authoritarian regime. There's no reason that they would need to adhere to that. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules. This world is flawed. This world is deeply flawed.
The Peacekeepers would have no reason to apprehend us.
Maybe, but still.
Peacekeepers would have no reason to apprehend us, says a man whose face was broadcast on television as a terrorist and who is actively hunted by the Peacekeepers as a known terrorist. Yeah, they'd have no reason to arrest us then.
How do you intend on proving our innocence?
Don't tell me you're gonna catch that hitman and turn him over to the Peacekeepers. That's impossible. He's probably already escaped by now.
Then we gotta investigate it. We have to investigate the doctor's lab and gather evidence of the hitman's crime.
That's crazy talk. How do you plan on investigating under these circumstances? Besides, proving our innocence doesn't guarantee the Peacekeepers will suddenly let us go. This facility is already restricted. They could make up any reason they want to arrest us.
I can't stress you how frustrating it is that we're finally trying to make this argument when it's been true the entire game. Like, every time that we've stood in opposition of the Peacekeepers, this argument has been true. And every time up until now, we've acted like it hasn't been true, and then for some reason, out of sheer force of will, it hasn't been true. But let me tell you that this logic is correctly applied the entire game by nature of the fact that the Peacekeepers are an authoritarian, like, police force. Like, they are the law, they've decided, and they do whatever they want, and it's well established that their whole thing is that they just like resolving crimes as simply as possible, and that they frame people based on little or actual no evidence just to sweep stuff under the rug. So us proving our innocence on several previous occasions wouldn't do anything to make them stop hunting us. But like now all of a sudden they're like, somehow the rules have changed, even though it's literally the exact thing we've done the entire game.
You've seen how they act for a while now.
That may be true, but we're detectives, aren't we? We have to stand up to them the only way we can. When all hope seems lost,
Sock 'em
that's
boppers?
exactly the moment to fight back as detectives. We must obtain the truth and use it against the Peacekeepers.
Again, like, here, so, like, this is a genuine problem that I have with this game. There's a lot that I do like about this game, and there's a lot that I want to like about this game. But, like, this game sort of posits, like, a set of circumstances as though it's Phoenix Wright, but it actually paints a much darker picture than the Phoenix Wright world. So, like, in Phoenix Wright, there is corruption within the legal system, but at the end of the day, the judge that you normally deal with will actually administer justice. He's just really easily swayed by people with, like, selfish or corrupt motives. So, like, that's the force that you're fighting, is making him see the truth so that he administers real justice. So, like, there's an out to, like, finding the truth mattering. In this world, the Peacekeepers are like judge, jury, and executioner. They openly hate us. They're hunting us all the time. Trying to find the truth in and of itself doesn't do anything. Now, it's sort of portrayed that the Mystery Labyrinth is supposed to be the way around that. Even though real justice doesn't exist in Conai Ward, the Mystery Labyrinth administers justice to criminals because when you solve the mystery of the labyrinth, the person responsible for creating the mystery, i.e. committing the crime, is killed as a matter of its weird supernatural laws. But it doesn't do anything to help us because the world that we return to once we complete that task is still completely and utterly corrupt. This is like the core problem that this game really needed to address and really doesn't. It is present in every case, and it's more prominent now than ever, and it's really frustrating. It's so close. If we had just put more care into creating the world, or creating some circumstance through which the Peacekeepers had to be held accountable, then maybe it would work. But the whole point of the world that they've created is that the Peacekeepers run everything, and that's created all the problems in Conai Ward. There needs to be some check or balance in order for this story to work in the way it's presented, and it just doesn't exist. Yeah, I know, listen.
He's talking way too long, and none of it sounds true at all.
That's at least half right. But the point is... Tell me I'm wrong.
I agree with Yuma.
Laura!
I mean, she's the only person here who I definitely expect to agree with that tirade.
It's true. Detectives should use the truth as their weapon of choice. I didn't expect to hear that from you, Yuma. You sure have grown.
But how do we even investigate? Place is crawling with Peacekeepers outside this room.
Still, it's not impossible. We have someone with the best forte for this situation.
Huh? Could it be Vivia?
I don't know. Could it? He turned yellow, so I think so. She says, remember, I've not caught a lot of this. But it is amazing, and it sounds like... Yeah, a lot of that is like, what? Yeah, I think a lot of that is like, what? That's sort of my problem. Like I says, didn't the leader of the Peacekeepers kill his own girlfriend for failing to blow up the detectives when she blew up the submarine? Truth wouldn't mean a thing to a guy like that. Exactly! Like, part of the problem is that, like... So, again... touching back on the point that, like, a lot of the game has felt, like, kind of cartoony, but the stakes have been really high, and it's, like, made, like, a weird tension. Like, we have done a lot of things to demonstrate, like, genuine, callous ruthlessness from Yomi Hellsmile, the guy who's in charge of the Peacekeepers. So, like, for him to not be ruthless against us, the people who he, like, actively thinks are the problem in his city, doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't have it both ways, that he will kill, like, this woman that he openly, very clearly loves, even though he's a psychopath, and then have him, like, pull his punches with us. That doesn't make any sense.
Vivia, will you tell me about your forte?
No.
I just remembered. I heard rumors about him back at the WDO. Vivia Twilight can supposedly solve crimes in his sleep.
Astral projection, of course! That makes perfect sense. Then you would get a bird's eye view, and also it ties in with his weird narcolepsy thing, his whole deal. It says the cartoonishness in the previous sections contrasted with the mostly serious scenes here is quite jarring. I agree. And the problem is that, like, I don't mind the occasional silliness, but, like, I think the balance has been way off. I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind a very silly mystery game, but, like, again, we've set the stakes, like, really high in this game. Like, they're really dangerous situations that we don't have a realistic chance of getting out of. But then, like, we rely on the power of cartoons to get out of them by just basically saying swipe or no swiping to, like, the murder police, and then they just, like, bug off, and then we go back to our, air quotes, secret submarine base. Like, this case so far has been really interesting because the stakes are high, and it's genuinely dramatic. And, like, there's still a couple of, like, silly lines of dialogue, and that's great. That's totally fine. I have no problem with that. But, like, when the whole, like, way that everyone in the world interacts is as if we're in, like, a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and then we have, like, I don't even know, like, some, like, extremely psychopathic villain from an R-rated movie as their opposition, it feels really weird.
In his sleep?
It's not a big deal. My condition lets me do detective work while sleeping.
Does Vivia have too much legs? We don't see him stand up very much, so it's been kind of hard to gauge. But, like, those pants go up pretty high. I think he might have too much legs.
Kind of like how some people sneeze differently than others. In my case,
I have a feeling it's not like that at all.
Just get to the point. We're running out of time. Can you or can't you do this investigation?
Oh, the point? Well, the point is, at the end of the rainbow is an ancient battlefield.
Of course. How could... Listen, I think this game's been doing a great job of explaining everything going on in this instance. Everything makes perfect sense, right?
Hey, can I punch you just this once?
Get him, tiny man! You and I are on the exact same page right now.
If I skip too much, you won't understand.
Hey, wait, doesn't this imply that we're gonna have to hold hands with Vivia and like, sleep together? Not, like, sleep together, but, like, sleep together? Do you think that love can bloom even on the battlefield at the end of the rainbow?
Reading the first and final page of a novel won't give you any notion about the story.
It might.
I don't want to hear about some story. Tell us about your forte!
I'll explain. His forte is spectral projection.
Yeah, I
He
called
can
it.
Control his own ethereal self. Ethereal self. I suppose I should call it a soul or a ghost.
Nah,
He's
it's
not confined by the laws of physics.
it's really fine to call it an ethereal self. It doesn't have to be a soul or a ghost.
Which means he can pass through walls and floors. And all the while, other people cannot see him.
Well, I guess they want to call it a ghost because then that explains why he sees ghosts, I guess.
In other words, you can turn yourself into a ghost?
Which asks very concernedly, what do you mean? Right. So if you haven't, say, caught all of the game up till this point, and perhaps only, you know, a few hours here and there throughout the playthrough, the main character has an ability called Coalescence, which means that he can share in the power of any other detective with a superpower by holding hands with them. Because they suggest that Vivia Twilight activates his power by going to sleep, it would mean that we would have to hold hands together, and then both of us would need to go to sleep while holding each other's hands, and then we can work together to solve the case as platonic hand-holding ghosts.
So you can investigate without being seen by the Peacekeepers.
I won't do it.
Cool. Very cool.
Huh? Hey, now's not the time to back down! I'm not asking you to read the room or whatever, but at least do something for your friends here!
You think I don't care about my friends? I've made my decision because I care for all of you.
Is it because you think that we all want to die someday like you do? Okay, then he said no, GG. Yeah, I mean, I think the game ends here. I think we're pretty close to the end of the game.
We're all determined to fight. But don't you think it'd be better to do as the Peacekeepers say in this case? You may be able to get Chief Yako medical attention in exchange for surrendering.
But then we all die. Then we all die?
Don't you think that's the highest chance of survival out of all our options?
Nah, that seems like a pretty low chance of survival, TBH.
Surrender? Oh, you gotta be kidding. Don't you have any pride as a detective?
That's really rich coming from Desahiko.
Not at all.
Countered.
Whoa, that sure was blunt.
Clinging to pride is why conflict will never vanish from this world.
Surprisingly profound.
I hate conflict. I'd rather live in a quiet and peaceful world.
Yeah, so like same and all, Vivia. Like I totally get your whole inference. I do regret to inform you that that you're not just gonna like make that happen though.
Butterflies cross the lake and snowy flowers conceal the moon. I simply wish to sleep soundly in a serene world.
Snow falls on Mount Fuji. No, that's definitely too many syllables.
Is it such a crime to hold this small wish?
No, listen, you're conflating two things that aren't the same thing, my guy. No one's trying to harsh your buzz on a better world. Completely agree with you there, my guy. Absolutely correct. However, we don't live there. We live in the world where the R-rated villain is trying to kill Daffy Duck with a real for real shotgun and make Daffy Duck à l'orange. But you can maybe stop that from happening, or you can have that same Elmer Fudd psycho kill all of us. Does this metaphor help?
If no one else is willing to say it, then I will warn you. It's a sin to waste such a talent given to you.
As a man who does not hold any pride, I'm not sure that argument will work.
You are skilled as a detective. However, you lack the willpower to make use of it.
I don't think he's arguing that at all.
Why is that? Are you afraid of something? Or perhaps you are laughing at the rest of us.
Is it duck season? I think we're kind of asking him that right now.
I'm happy to hear you have such high regard for me, Halara. But you're simply overestimating me.
I do find this guy very relatable. And also frustrating.
I didn't become a detective because I wanted to be. And as to whether or not I'm afraid, I would say that I may be.
It's a resounding maybe.
When you desire something, you're afraid of losing it. And yet, why does everyone continue to have desires? Is the truth even worth it?
Alright, that's gonna be a tough argument to make in front of a room full of detectives who are basically just talking about it as our raison d'etre.
It's no use. I thought he was incomprehensible, but he's actually completely bonkers. Look at the chief! He's dying here! Doesn't it hurt your soul even a little? I can't believe you'd go and spout all this nonsense right now!
I apologize if I've offended you. Don't worry, I'll stop talking. As usual, I'll simply go to a dark place, out of sight, out of mind.
The Twilight Zone? I guess he's Vivia Twilight. The Vivia Twilight Zone? Is that something?
Master, you gotta stop him!
Vivia, please, wait.
Let's hold hands and sleep together. It came out weird.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I know we need your help right now. If you say you won't cooperate with the investigation, I don't mind. But in exchange, will you please hold hands with me?
There it is.
Are you trying to make up? I don't remember us fighting to begin with.
No, I just want to borrow your power.
Ah, this is your coalescence, is it?
You knew and were just playing dumb?
Well, if it's just holding hands, I don't mind. I have no reason to decline.
Shinigami?
What is this sensation? I knew it already, but this guy is strange!
Strange? Yeah, he is kind of a weird person.
That's not what I meant!
The question I have is, can he hear her? It seems like he can see her, but if he's not in ghost form, can he, like, hear what she's saying? And then by extension, can he hear what we're thinking?
So, you can now use spectral projection? If so, I must warn you. When using my forte, your body will act as though you're asleep. You better lay down before you begin.
All right.
You'll be defenseless while using it, so be careful. Though everyone is here, so you don't have to worry.
I'm glad that the Looney Tunes metaphor has helped carry things, Crit Twitch. I feel like it does add something to the explanation. Echo says he accepted. You're holding hands, one step closer to sleeping with Vivia Twilight. It's true, we're getting pretty close. I wasn't sure if he'd be a romanceable character.
Also, your ghost form doesn't mean you're completely safe from harm.
Wait, what does that mean?
Hey, Yuma. Do you think you can do it?
No, hang on, Desico. I need you to stop talking. It's very important to me that I understand how I get harmed as a ghost. That feels very important.
I don't know, but I'll try. Can you watch over my body in the meantime?
Yeah, you can count on me.
Go and investigate to your heart's content. We'll handle things here.
Understood. There's not much time. I need to proceed with the investigation and get everyone out of here. I have to do this for Chief Yako.
Aw. This is actually very carefully off. I kind of thought they were going to give him a fun, weird form like she has, and so that we could be on her level. I was excited for that. That seemed like it was a clever
Strange to see
thing.
myself outside of my own body.
I'm a little disappointed we kind of just look like us, which is also fine, but less fun.
Ow! Wait, it didn't hurt, but it feels like I bumped into something. Is it because I've become a spirit like you, Shinigami?
Looks like I can smack you directly now! I'm loving this!
What a great use of the circumstances.
This makes me
Be careful while you're
really
defenseless.
uneasy.
Good advice, good advice.
Lucky for you, I'm here! Now we're literally soulmates!
Pat, 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 pat. Why did they bother to decorate the soles of Yuma's shoes? It's come up a surprising number of times, to be honest, Neko. I think it's fair. You might finally have hit a point where I can save again. There is a lot of big continuous stretches of dialogue in this part of the game. Some people in Kanai Ward don't mind getting wet. Well, I'll tell you what.
I might get wet down there.
By which I mean at the ground floor, because we took an elevator Guess we're down now. We're not up in the penthouse.
His soul has probably left his body about now.
Huh? Really? He doesn't look all that different to me.
Now, what's a little weird is we've seen Vivia indicate that he could see Shinigami while he was awake.
Long, and none of it sounds true at all.
So, I mean, it applies so frequently, it really needed to be added.
Looks like Tetsuhiko can't see me. I'm sure I can investigate without the peacekeepers spotting me now.
By the way, Yuma, I'm sure you're hovering right above the floor near us. You're only doing so subconsciously. Right now, you're truly free from the shackles of the laws of physics. Similarly,
does that mean I can make ice cream
it may
soup?
at first be difficult to pass through a wall due to the preconceived notion that you'll be blocked. To begin, try passing through a door. Your consciousness views doors innately as passageways. Why don't you try it out?
I'm passing through the door.
Use Ghost to open doors.
You and I are the same now, Master.
Alright, we're definitely gonna have to save because I think if I risk going any further, we could enact like a 45-minute monologue about the nature of reality. So we're just gonna save over that last one because it's just been... I don't know. Sure. Wow, wow, it's me, Big Vasco. I hate when it gives me the warning that I will lose my progress when I literally just saved. It always makes me think I did something wrong, even when I didn't. Okay, it's fine. Title screen. You will lose the none progress since you just saved. I'm so big. Yeah, it's Raincoat, huh? This was a very different experience from all other installments of Raincoat thus far. As discussed, I appreciate a lot of the application of the interesting ideas established thus far, but like actually taken seriously and given weight. In addition to sort of making the stakes feel real instead of just like a cartoonish threat looming overhead that would never be realized despite the pretty intense severity of the opposition. I mean, basically, with the possible exception of Guillaume and Dominic Fulltank, who we don't know specifically what did or didn't happen to them after they failed to capture us when being accused of terrorism. Every other character that we've come into like direct opposition with, Yomi Hosuma has like killed like directly. So it seems really weird that all this time like his own folks have been in danger from him and we haven't. So like the fact that it seems like he's finally for real like threatening us definitely makes things more interesting. Plus the dramatic stakes have helped give an avenue for the very capable acting talent of this cast. It's like a really well cast game, and a lot of the stuff that happens hasn't really afforded great opportunities for them to demonstrate that. There've been some great lines here and there, and a couple decent scenes, but like, I mean, some of the scenes at the end were like really charged and intense, and I feel like everyone's pulling their weight, and it's really refreshing to see. That said, I have no idea what's going to happen, but we are sleeping with Vivia Twilight, which is, you know, like a step towards what chat's been asking for a long time. Yeah, this game is definitely all over the place thematically. It is genuinely problematic. But let me say this, right? Like, I've said a lot about the first Somnium Files game that is a really good story told really poorly. And I've had less opportunity to say it, but I have also said quite a lot that the second Somnium Files game is kind of just an absolute hot mess that completely dissolves under its own weight, more or less. And I do compare this game a lot to those because I think it's trying to do something fairly similar. They're both like Japanese created visual novel games with 3D graphics that are trying to tell like a fairly high stakes detective story. Raincoat is still not a perfect example of this hypothetical genre that like no one's, in my opinion, like really made a perfect game of. But like I don't know. It's definitely closer to Somnium Files 1, which is like flawed but trying to do something interesting, than it is Somnium Files 2, which just kind of is frustrating at the end of the day. And I think that this game has overall like better characters and like mostly better dialogue writing. So like I don't know, like it has like pacing problems and I could go on forever. Like I really do at some point need to go on a long diatribe about the problem with this genre in general, which is that no one has taken the cues from what actually made the Zero Escape games successful. Everyone thinks they understand that lesson, but I don't think they do. But I don't think I want to get into that now because I've already been ranting quite a lot in this installment because there's been quite a lot to say. But my point being that, like, yes, I have been frequently and somewhat regularly frustrated with Raincoat. But even in its dark hours of gameplay, there are usually hints at something greater. And it's really refreshing to see at least some part of the game toward the end, which is even better, make a real concerted effort towards like putting its best foot forward. I mean, like the very end of the first Somnium Files game is actually pretty strong. But like a lot of the stuff that leads up to it is a hot mess, which I think, and I've said before, undermines what that story is capable of, its potential. Since we haven't gotten to the end of Raincoat yet, it's very possible that it will at least have something interesting to say and say it capably at the end of the day. And this is the first time in a while I've felt a sense of confidence that that truly is possible instead of just being possible in the abstract sense that we haven't witnessed the end of the game yet. Didn't even look at chat, but I did answer that question, Castle. I think it's closer to the first. I think it's like between the two, but I think it's closer to the first. We'll see how close it gets, or maybe it even manages to eclipse it, although I think the best case scenario is that it maybe ends up a little better than Somnium Files 1. Have I lost more weight? Thank you for asking that, whether or not that's a real question. But yes, I'm pretty sure yes. Everything fits a little different. I'm between notches on my watch again, which is a really annoying place to be. Because when I'm at any particular notch on the watch size, it's totally fine. When I'm between notches, it has trouble registering like my heart rate for like daily exercise stuff, and also sometimes like pinches a nerve, and it's really annoying. But yeah, I mean, I've been making a really concerted effort for the past year and a half to lose weight, and despite the fact that it is slow going, I'm pretty sure that I'm on my way. I don't know that I'll ever actually reach a weight that I'm happy with, and I'm not entirely sure how to reconcile that. But my hope is to reach a weight that I'm somewhat happy with, and then be able to adjust my incredible amount of time that I'm devoting in the week to losing weight to instead maintaining weight and then having more free time again. That is my hope, but it's been a hope for a while, and it's taking a while. But I appreciate you asking, and I almost don't care how sincere it is. I appreciate people being positive. I know that sometimes I talk too much about the fact that I'm trying to lose weight, so I've been trying to do it less, but I have continued to work on it. I mean, for example, this is a pretty snug medium shirt that like a year ago I don't think I could wear. I mean, I could probably physically fit into it, but be uncomfortable and look bad. But I look only a little pudgy, but it's like mostly the correct size for me, which is fun. It's fun for me. It does, however, mean that a lot of my fun large shirts at this point in my life feel very big. And I made an offhand reference to them becoming more poncho-esque, and that has unfortunately been a thing. But in this game of problems to have, like, pretty happy with that one. Medium, what's that like? I mean, when I was in college, I fit like an Urban Outfitters large, which is like a small medium, which is a stupid sentence to say, but I promise you is true. And I gained like a lot of weight. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a certain set of circumstances last summer led me to realize like I have gained like a lot of weight, particularly since the start of the pandemic. I just like made some life choices to like cope with how bad things were, and just like it happened gradually enough that I didn't appreciate how significant the effect had been. And once I became aware of it, I was like, I just need to fix it. I just need to fix it. And like ever since like June of last year, I set just like really not sensible weight loss goals. And it's not really about the weight loss, it's about trying to manage the calorie deficit, which is just like, I have tried to restrain the amount I eat a little bit because I have a tendency to overdo it a little bit naturally. I'm not trying to starve myself, but like, I do have a tendency to eat too much, just by instinct. And then, like, trying to work out enough in the majority of days that I'm like burning more than I'm taking in, but without like really doing something insane or doing like going to gyms, which is just not something that appeals to me. That is like inherently going to be slow progress. Like it says, even when you're just maintaining weight, you are making progress losing fat. It's common to plateau and feel like you're not making progress. Yeah, I think I've been there for a few months. There was like several months where it felt like I wasn't doing anything. And unfortunately, like my fat distribution is still just like I think it's like my German heritage. Like I feel like German physiology likes to settle in a certain way that's like not flattering to a guy at all. So like that's been a little bit disappointing, but I do feel like I've maintaining, and even though we just hit Thanksgiving, I think I've actually managed to be losing weight over recent history. So I you know, not to toot my own horn, it has been a lot of work. I appreciate people noticing and the positivity. I really do appreciate that. If you're interested, I could talk more about it. I don't know that it's all that interesting, because that's my whole strategy is simply that, is like try to eat slightly less. Trying to eat a lot less is really hard because nobody wants to eat a lot less. So I've been trying to eat like a little less. There was like a period where I was being like really good and not having any desserts, and then I was starting to get depressed because I just have a really bad sweet tooth, and it's just like there is a certain amount of this that I can manage. And instead what I've found is just like choosing like treats for myself that have like a really small serving size that's still satisfying has been very helpful to me. So that might be a thing to consider if you're trying to do it yourself. It's impressive that you've lost weight rather than gained it over Thanksgiving. To some extent, that's probably true. I'm a little bit weird about Thanksgiving, to be fair. I don't think I have the typical American mindset about Thanksgiving for whatever reason. My nature is weird. Anyway, I don't want to bore you forever. I got stuff to do. As a reminder for anyone who did not join at the start of the stream, I did say that we would be streaming tomorrow, but I said that in error because I do have my very special concert to go to tomorrow that I really can't miss. Because Confidence Man came to the US. They're a band I found out about actually pretty close to the time I started losing weight, weirdly enough. And shortly after I discovered them, I became like really enamored with them and realized like there aren't a lot of bands that I really want to see live, but like, this is a band I would really like to see live. So if they came anywhere near me, I wanted to like make a sensible concession to be able to do that. And then they're like 20 minutes from my house, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And the tickets aren't like expensive at all. It's very exciting for me. But that is tomorrow night at I think the show starts at 9, but obviously I have to like be there. Doors open at 8, probably gonna be there early. So like it overlaps with a lot of the stream time. It doesn't really make sense to try and stream at all. It would just be a mess. It would just be like a really bad time for everyone. So as much as I hate putting off doing more Chants of Sinar, because I'm really excited to play more of that game, unfortunately that does have to wait until next week, which is why I want to put that in the title of the stream so people would be aware of that if possible. Yeah, I'll tell you all about the show next week when we're back. So next Friday we'll be back with more Raincoat. Who knows how that's gonna go? This took a weird turn today. And next Saturday we will continue Chants of Sinar. And I'm hoping to finish that by the end of the year. Oh, no one cares, but they finally made an announcement about that remaster game I'd been waiting to hear about. It's supposed to come out first quarter next year, which I genuinely believe that's true. I think they waited a long time to say when they were pushing it to because they wanted to know when it was gonna end up. So that's exciting for me. That helps me plan stuff. But for now, before we end the stream, there's one last thing to do, and then I'll stop talking at you.
He's talking way too long, and none of it sounds true at all.
It's a really good button. We get some really good buttons here. But I encourage you to find the secret Squirtle, because somewhere on the couch behind me, I've hidden a Squirtle. If you could see a Squirtle, like this guy, or this one, it's not a secret. It's right there. You can totally see him. But yeah, take a guess. Let me know if you can figure out where that Squirtle is, because to locate a secret Squirtle will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. And with only one stream this week, it might need to last you a little longer.
The servants call me Dummy Thick.
Dummy Thick, also very good. My perennial favorite that nobody but me likes, but I enjoy too much. I enjoyed this one enough for everyone, which is why I made it for us all.
I might get wet down there.
It's just very bad. It shouldn't exist, but I made it anyway. So let's take a look at these guesses. Secret Squirrel behind Christmas Reindeer. We had guess of Clarice. Guess behind our pink narwhal friend. Any other guesses? Any other sneaky last minute guesses? Going once, going twice, gonna stand up. Yeah. But yeah, look at me. Haha. It's like I fit in this shirt. Under the angry, not squid. Oh, I got you. On the top right, this guy. We sort of, I think communally we've designated this guy as our squid, and this one's the angry octopus. Sometimes he's referred to as the octo hat because he can also be a hat. I can demonstrate that if you need it. Let's take a look though. So obviously we have some interest in some new friends. The local grocery store got shipment of Christmas Squishmallows. They're already like completely sold out. I was a little disappointed because I love Christmas friends. There weren't that many that I liked. But we have. This is Rudolph. You could tell because he's got the red nose. And this is Clarice, who is his love interest in the Rudolph, like, stop motion special. The Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Her name is Clarice. And for those of you, I'm pretty sure this is something that we used to say on Renegade Constabulary stuff, because I know it's something I got tech saying. It is that special is the origin of saying cued instead of cute, because Rudolph is trying to disguise the fact that he has a red nose because it makes him stand out. So he like covers his nose with Cole, and then he's like talking to Clarice, and she says that she thinks he's cute, and then he's like, "She said I'm cute," and then he gets really excited, and then plot happens. But they are a couple of merry reindeers who have special scarves on. They're very good friends. But we must answer the question of, is there a Squirtle? And I'm afraid not. We have ourselves a fancy gentleman narwhal with his mustache and a donut cat, but neither one is a secret Squirtle. There's a guest behind Naomi, our very big narwhal lass. Hiding back there is Laboon the whale from One Piece, which is the name of the treasure on the Grand Line. Unfortunately, also not the Squirtle. Now, there's some question as to whether or not this friend might hide a Squirtle. First, let me demonstrate that he can, in fact, also be a hat. But in addition to that, he does, in fact, contain a secret Squirtle. So, congratulations. I think it was Critwitch who spotted that. I found a little squishmallow frog wearing a little scarf. That sounds delightful, Neko. I saw online, I don't think they had it at my store, because I feel like I would have gotten it right away. I saw a squishmallow Christmas tree that was wearing a Santa hat, and I was like, that's just the right amount of too much. That's so much Christmas in one entity. Mm-hmm. Anything can be a hat if you literally put your mind to it. That's kind of true. That's somewhat true. Anyway, let me go do some productive things so I can hopefully post the advent calendar thing and make sure this video gets posted for Monday and make sure that I get everything in order before tomorrow's concert. And then we'll talk about it and other stuff next week. Yeah, by the way, go on the Discord and you can see my advent calendar. I have a Lego advent calendar, and every year I build it. Sometimes I have other stuff going on. This year it's just the Lego calendar, and I do little poses and try to make little fun stories and stuff. And at least 2 people like it. You might too. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Do your best to enjoy the holiday season. I know times are stressful. They are for me too. But you know, be good to each other and do all the stuff. You guys are great. Take care of yourselves and remember that you are Colossum.